passing game. And there's no way you can game manage your way into beating the Kansas City Chiefs. I know he gives you, potential to throw pick sixes and all those type of things, but he's a much more accomplished passer than the other guy.
Damian Woody on the Max Kellerman Show. Saints still have a chance at the 1 seed in the NFC. Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey officially listed as doubtful against the Packers on Saturday. Oregon agreed to a new 6-year, $27 million contract with football coach Mario Cristobal. He'd been mentioned as a potential candidate for the Auburn vacancy. The Virginia men's basketball program has restarted following a COVID-19 shutdown and has added a game against number 1 Gonzaga for December 26th.
We're back on Friday, and I'm giving the Raiders one more damn chance before I jump off the Raiders bandwagon. It's go time for the Silver and Black. We'll react to Thursday Night Football at 6 Eastern on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Is Brent's microphone not working today?
Hold on, I didn't think so.
I mean, this could be maybe one of the greatest days in show history if that's the case.
I got plenty to do over here.
Is my mic working right now, Cruz?
Your mic is.
All right, right on, man. Welcome to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. I'm Austin Lane. My co-host Brent Martineau right now has been silenced. Maybe it's from the graces of God. Maybe it's a sign. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll get his mic on pretty soon. But we got a lot on tap for today. Going to talk about that 2017 NFL Draft. Was Alvin Kamara? And
Have you looked at the rundown yet?
Not really.
Yeah, probably not.
Jags are not the only team that thought Leonard Fournette.
Thing.
Is your mic on now? Are we good?
My mic's on.
Okay, cool. Well, to take it away from here, Brent Martineau. You got it, man.
You want me to turn it back off?
I gave you a lot of homework today.
It was a lot better. Yeah, and trust me, I didn't do any of it. Because, by the way, the link that you sent me, it was requiring my email and stuff. No, not going to do that.
The link I sent you, I gave you a username and password
Yep. And then it said sign in with your own Gmail account. I'm like, I'm not going to sign in with my own Gmail account to read one article. Sorry, athletic.com. I get you guys are hustling, and I respect it, but I don't hustle that way. I'm not going to give you my information, my name, my email, just to read an article. So, Brent, hopefully you can give me some of the Cliff Notes and tell me what you read today.
Nope, this sounds like Murray State. This is what happened at Murray State. Mm-hmm. This is how football players get through at Murray State. Hey, give me your Cliff Notes. I didn't want to share my email.
3.2 GPA. Yeah.
3.2. My goodness.
Not really.
Those friends must have been pretty good.
Honest
man.
question.
Hey, trust me, I didn't have any friends writing my 75-page paper that I had to do for my senior year.
Out of curiosity, Brent, do you think my GPA was better or lower than that?
Oh, that's a good question.
But you actually cheated, though. So,
well, you did plagiarize it, turned into a D, probably.
Yeah, you definitely cheated.
No, I got failed from that class.
You failed. So, I'm going to say yours is probably less.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, there's too many bars.
Here's
the thing. He went to a dry town. He went to a school where there's a dry town, right?
Flagler's a dry campus.
It was a dry county. Dry
county and dry campus are two different things, man.
Yeah.
Dry county means there ain't a lot of bars happening. You know what?
The border of Tennessee was 5 miles away, but okay.
To be fair, the downtown St. Augustine's like you could throw a rock.
Cruz probably went to a bar in his underwear one time.
Why would you do that?
The underwear bar crawl.
Oh, really?
That's a thing.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
I was kidding, by the way. I wasn't serious. I don't know that
I thought you knew something I didn't. There's an underwear bar crawl.
I think we did one.
He can roll out of bed and be in a bar.
Yeah, I got you. But apparently there's an underwear bar crawl, which is right up his alley, which is crazy to think about.
You know, I graduated with a 2.89 GPA, and they wouldn't round me up.
Truth be told, I think when I left my junior year, I was about like 2.6, 2.7. And then my senior year, I had to take all over because obviously I left early for the draft. I got straight A's then, so it helped me out a lot. I actually applied myself a little bit. It's crazy when you get older.
What I got.
Really? You don't take pride in it? As long, hey, D's get degrees.
Yeah.
So you're
I didn't do that. I mean, I was 3 point something, but I just don't remember.
C's.
D's get degrees too, don't they?
I wasn't a 4.0 guy.
Yeah.
But I was probably mid threes. I don't even know if I was above 3.5. What's 3.5? Like, is 3.5 like?
I think 3.5 you get like an
whatever.
Yeah. Did you sum cum laude?
Is it like magna cum laude?
Yeah, magna cum laude. Did you get
I
that?
don't care about. No, I don't think so.
Oh, flex.
I might have got the next one.
Look, just cum laude then, right?
Just cum laude.
I mean, dude, you're asking the wrong guy here when it comes to that stuff. Okay.
I think GPAs and all that stuff are so overrated.
I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to tests, right? You can be proud of it
if you want, but it's overrated.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to tests, and I was a horrible test taker.
So. You just got to understand, too, like, again, I appreciate schooling and I appreciate the discipline of schooling more than anything else, right? But and there are professions that you really got to, like, school is very, 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 very important to, like, for 4.0s or for whatever else. Like, I want my doctor to be smart if they're doing surgery on me, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But for radio.
But you don't need your sportscaster to be that smart. Like, does it matter if I get a 3.9 or a 2.6?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
It matters if I read The Athletic today for the article that I want to talk about.
Well, no, it's all good, man. I can catch up. It's not a big deal at all. But no, listen, like all the kids that were in like my journalism class, and some have gone on and do some things, but there are some 4.0ers out there that are probably on Facebook right now doing some pyramid scheme just to get by. You right? So like,
absolutely.
So I mean, yeah, I'm not sitting here and telling the youth out there in the nation saying, don't worry about the test. Don't worry about the grades. It's all a scam. Like, nah, man. Like, you got to do your work, do the best that you can. But I'm just saying, if you go to the NFL, there's a job waiting for you when you're done.
Update on the Bowl school right now is Bowls is down 28-7. 28-7. They were up 7-0 on a Cade Fruit touchdown run. Cardinals Gibbons, real deal. Bowls is a real deal, but sometimes you just don't know what you got to run into, and it's a matchup thing.
Who are they playing?
The Cardinal Gibbons, and that was going to be a tough matchup for them. Trinity Christian with a huge win last night in comeback fashion in the state championship. So what a win for them. 8th state championship. Looks like Bowls will be still on number 11. They were trying to get their 12th. So we'll keep you updated. Marcel Robinson is there, but it looks like state championship-wise, our local teams could go 1-2 after University Christian lost yesterday, and Bowls is losing today, I think, as they're in the fourth quarter. So we'll keep you updated, see if there's some miraculous comeback for the Bowl school. Either way, a good season for all of them. We will have one final edition of the Blitz Scoreboard Show coming up tomorrow, 9 o'clock. We'll have the Blitzies at 10:30 on Fox 30. Make sure you roll those DVRs if you're watching the SEC Championship game, which we don't mind. We'll have it on social media, too. But if you like high school sports and you're into high school football, you play high school football, check out our award show we do annually. That is coming up on Saturday night, 10:30 on Fox 30. You know what's so weird about this week? I feel like for the first time, like the Jags game, like doesn't matter. Like I know they haven't mattered that much, but it's like, how will they beat this team? How will they? It's not even running through my mind that much. Like, but now I got to be honest with you. I've done this before, and Green Bay, I didn't think they had a chance to win, and they did. There were a couple other games on the schedule. I was like, they just don't have a chance to win. Pittsburgh, they didn't really have a great chance to win that Pittsburgh game, right? Didn't feel like it. And I think Baltimore fits in that category where it's just like, I don't feel like personnel-wise, even if they were healthy, even if you go back to this season and they were 6-7 right now, I just didn't feel like they had a great chance to win this game. Well, now that they just got thumped, now that there's 3 games to go, now that it looks like Baltimore's starting to try to find its groove a little bit, they're playing for a lot. Now that the Jags have gone through quarterback turmoil and team turmoil and 12-game losing streak, I just don't even know. Like, it's like, are we wasting our breath to say, well, the Jags could win if they do this? It just doesn't feel like that kind of game.
I mean, no, it doesn't feel like that kind of game, especially with the Baltimore Ravens right now in must-win mode. And you know, I look at it like this, though. The Jaguars just got embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed in their home against their supposed divisional rival. Now, you know how I feel about it. I don't think the Tennessee Titans are really a rival, but call it what you want. They got curb stomped. So when that happens to a team, the following week, usually guys stay a little longer for studying, right? Usually guys work a little harder in the weight room because they don't want to have that feeling again. Because when you're helpless, when Derrick Henry's pounding the rock for 200-plus yards and there's nothing you can do about it, that's a pretty crappy feeling. And you have a Baltimore Ravens team right now that's coming off a big win towards the end of the game with the Cleveland Browns, right? So I don't want to say that the Baltimore Ravens right now are coming off that high and overlooking the Jacksonville Jaguars, because they'd be foolish to. And I think they have a bunch of great coaches there in Baltimore that wouldn't allow that. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a motivated, a physical brand of football from the Jacksonville Jaguars just to try to make things right from the Tennessee Titans game this past week.
I like when I just come up with some things on the fly as I'm listening to you talk. What about this one? What's more surprising this weekend? Florida beating Alabama or the Jags beating the Ravens?
Oof.
Is that a no-brainer? Is it the Jags? But, I mean, keep in mind now, I think the Jags are less of an underdog than the Gators are to Alabama.
Yeah. What would be more of a surprise, I think, right now, given the situation of must-win for the Ravens? I think the Jaguars winning would be a bigger surprise. I mean, they're both obviously be ginormous surprises, but I would probably lean with the Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other kind of – oh, I guess, how about this? Northwestern beating Ohio State.
What are we comparing this to? Are we
Any
comparing
of the
it to
two.
all of them?
Northwestern? I'm trying to think what would trump the Jags in your surprise. But I'm kind of with you, right?
Yeah.
Florida's a 17-point dog. But I feel like Florida has a fighting chance against Alabama. I've seen their offense, man. They're good. I think that was a little bit of a, whatever it's a trap game, whatever their bad coach game, the whatever they weren't ready to play game, the shoe game, the whatever game against LSU, I just felt like, okay, that's one of those games. I still think they're a good football team. And to be honest with you, if Florida had beaten LSU, I think the line would be about 12 points against Alabama. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Before that game against LSU, I was toying with the idea of picking the Gators. And I'm far from a Gator fan.
Okay.
But I was toying with the idea of picking the Gators. Now I'm not even messing around with it. I mean, I just can't do it. I just saw what happened last week. And Alabama's been so good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just felt like, hey, you know what? I think they can keep up. Like, I think and if you come up with your best defensive game, I just don't know. Listen, it's the NFL. The Jags certainly have a better chance probably because it's the NFL. We saw them against Green Bay. We see these kind of games. I mean, who went out to Seattle? When the Giants went out to Seattle, right? And I know the Giants have won 4 in a row, but come on, the Giants aren't better than Seattle. So it happens in sports, but it more happens in the NFL. Like, the games are meant to be close. And Minshew's coming back. But, man, I'm telling you that's where my feeling is at. Like, I just don't feel there's much of a chance for them to win this football game going into on Sunday. And I think you said it. I think the thing that was unexpected against Green Bay is that the Jags played a physical brand that I don't know if I've seen that around for a few years.
Yeah.
Like, they played such a physical brand of football. Kind of reminded me of 17 a little bit when they went to Pittsburgh the first time. I know they made big plays in that game, but they also said, hey, we ain't getting beat up by you.
Yeah.
You know, and they went up there and they matched that intensity. I just don't know in December if the Jags in a 12-game losing streak with 3 to go are going to muster that kind of performance up physicality-wise.
Yeah, so listen, when we talk about, the Florida Gators' chances of beating Alabama, or Northwestern's chances of beating Northwestern, or the Jaguars' chances of beating the Ravens, like, if I'm going to put money down on one of those underdogs, like, and I understand, like, storylines are, and, like, the narrative, like, that could mean something, but, like, I can't commit to storylines or narratives. Like, I need something that's foolproof. I need something that's solid. So, like, when I say I need something that's solid, I need something where I can look at a team and be like, okay, if the game was to shake out where the Jaguars would beat the Ravens, how would they do it? If Northwestern would beat Ohio State, how would they do it? If Florida would beat Alabama, how would they do it? Now, throughout the year, and we've kind of disagreed a little bit, but I want to see what your opinions are now. You always thought that Florida's offense compared with Alabama's offense in terms of being explosive and in terms of being productive. Like, do you still feel that way, or do you feel right now Alabama's a notch above Florida?
No, I think Florida's offense is – I still think you can contest that Florida's offense is just as good as Alabama. I really do. I think Mullen and Trask are on that kind of same page. And keep in mind, they scored, 34 points last week? I know LSU's not very good, but they did it without Kyle Pitts. So with Kyle Pitts in the game,
yeah,
right?
And keep in mind, Alabama lost their star receiver as well.
I know. I'm just telling you that they haven't missed a beat without Waddle. They would be better with Waddle, but they haven't missed a beat without him. Florida is different without Pitts. So Florida needs Pitts. So for me to answer this question with, hey, the Gators, can they be as good offensively as Alabama? I say yes if they have Pitts, because he changes everything for them, even offensively.
Okay. But, like, and when they played Vandy, did Pitts play in that game? Because remember, like, there's for a while, like, where that offense was, like, see,
I don't think they did. That was after the Georgia game. So I think when he missed 2 games, I think that was one of them.
Okay. My only point is, like, listen, Florida's offense for periods, for stretches, has looked stagnant. Now, it hasn't been a lot, but it has. I can't recall one time that Alabama's offense was like, ooh, what is that? Because they've literally curb stomped everybody, and they still have the ability to run the ball when they need to. They have the ability to pass the ball when they need to. So when I break down this Florida-Alabama game, I'm not going to go with the mistake that Joey Galloway did and the Florida's got no chance. Ha, ha, ha. No, there's always a chance. This is football. Have some faith. But I'm just saying the only way I can foresee Florida beating Alabama is in a track meet. Because I think Alabama's defense is way too good. And I think right now Alabama has more weapons at the wide receiver position. They have the better running back. Quarterback's up for debate. But at the end of the day, I just feel like there's too much firepower. So that's why, like, I wouldn't ever bet on Florida. Now with Northwestern, I can make an argument for that game. Because Northwestern's defense, I think, is better than Ohio State's. I honestly do. I mean, don't get me wrong. Ohio State has great players in their secondary, right? A couple guys from here, exactly. First-round pick, hands down, right? They have some great talent. But as far as playing together, I can make an argument and say Northwestern might be better. So if Northwestern was going to win that game, I can see it because I've seen Justin Fields make mistakes before. I've seen Justin Fields what happens when you man up the receivers a little bit and he gets a little nervous. I have history to go off of. So to say Northwestern is going to beat Ohio State, it's probably not going to happen, but that's a way that they can do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this is my point. So with Jacksonville and Baltimore now, how could Jacksonville beat Baltimore? I can't see them just pounding the rock because Baltimore does that better, okay? Like in terms of yards per game, in terms of physicality, I'll be honest with you. Baltimore does that better, just like Tennessee did it better last Sunday. Now, keep in mind, they didn't really go to James Robinson that much in the first half. So if you're going to ask the question and say, how do you beat the Baltimore Ravens right now? If you're Doug Marrone, if you're Jay Gruden, if you're Todd Wash, you air the ball out because the only advantage that you have right now is the ability to throw. And the only advantage you have right now is the wide receivers are better. So I think you try to expose that thing. I think you try to make it a high-scoring game, as crazy as that sounds. But there's no way to me you're going to beat the Ravens at their own game. Just not going to happen.
What a catch-22, though, because really one of the ways when you are at a disadvantage, when you are outmanned, essentially, and again, I mean, it happens to a degree in the NFL, and certainly the Ravens are better on the roster. Yeah. But when you're outmanned, what you want to do a lot of times is shorten the game.
Correct.
And so if you're going to throw the ball,
Keep
that's not shortening
off the field.
Right? But that's not shortening the game. I mean, unless you're going to hit a lot of passes, unless it's the efficient game plan of like the first game of the year against the Colts where they go 19 for 20.
Short passes.
Something like that. So it's tricky because I think you have to feed Robinson because you have to continue to get him going, and I selfishly want him to add more yards. Yeah. But I think also you might play into the hands of Baltimore if you do it that way. Even Cleveland, as much as they run the football, they came out and threw the football again. That's 2 weeks in a row, right? To your point, they did it against Tennessee. Jags tried to mimic that against Tennessee and paid the price.
Correct.
So I think I'd go back to who you are. I mean, you got to be careful of what teams are, but I also think you have to know who you are. So I wouldn't be as afraid of my opposition as I am afraid of not being who I am.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying if I was betting on an underdog and I'm looking at how can this team win this game, I can see the Jaguars passing with Gardner Minshew, using the short pass game with Laviska Shenault. Maybe DJ Chark finally gets back in a groove here. And, maybe throw the short passes to James Robinson and obviously use play action off him as well. But to me, that's the only way you beat Baltimore Ravens. Like, I think if you rush James Robinson 25 times, maybe 30 times this game, it's not going to happen because Baltimore, in my opinion, does it better.
An update on Keontae Johnson. It's not too revealing. I want to be careful here, but with the lack of updates and not like this, obviously the big news this week on Keontae Johnson was he was breathing on his own. He was FaceTiming with the team. That was the last thing we knew until this one I'll give you in a moment. But and it's not like super advanced. It's not like this big next step. Hey, he's out of the hospital or he's up walking around or whatever the next thing would be. I don't know that. That's why I want to be a little careful. But, man, I mean, how alarmed we're not to the point where we're talking about yet because we don't know enough, like, what's his future. I think he's still battling so many things, the thoughts still with the family and with him. But I also don't want to forget about this story. I mean, this story Saturday, Sunday, Monday, even into Tuesday was huge, and it feels like now it went quiet a little bit on Wednesday and even into the early part of today until we get this latest update. The Gators have now canceled the next 3 games as well that they were scheduled to play. And I understand that because the emotional toll for these young men and the young people around that program and even the older people around that program has to be enormous. This is, I guess, just what's your level of concern? Because the more days that go by and I don't see like this, I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for. Like, I feel like I'm looking down an empty tunnel right now at what I need to see or to feel better about Keontae Johnson.
Yeah. How do I feel about it? I mean, listen, right now, that team, that coaching staff knows a lot more about the situation than we do. You know, and I think when it's time to reveal what's going on, they're going to do it. So I'm not stressing too much about that. But at the same time, it is a little weird that we haven't had further updates, right? Like we had the glimmer of hope a little bit, and now we're just kind of stuck in limbo here, wondering, well, what's the next step? You know, I mean, can he come back and play this season? Is he out for the year? You know, these are all questions that will eventually be addressed. I do agree, though, with Florida canceling these next 3 games because I can't imagine being part of that team right now or being a coach and trying to get your guys in order. Because it's one thing, like, listen, severe injuries happen all the time, right? We talk about it. Once you enter the arena, sometimes you're at the risk of the arena. And sometimes, you know, there's a gruesome leg injury. Sometimes there's a concussion where you're knocked unconscious. And they're all very bad optic kind of things. But this is different, though. This is a guy collapsing out of nowhere. This was a guy who was playing to the best of his abilities, going for a dunk, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's unconscious on the ground. That's not normal. That's not supposed to be part of the game of basketball or any professional sport. So with that being said, that's scary, okay? And I get why they canceled the next 3 games. I guess going forward now, we just got to play the waiting game, man, and hope that we get some news sooner than later.
Yeah, by the way, I don't say this in saying that we should know more. Like, why don't we know more? I just selfishly say I wish I knew more, right? I mean, you're kind of waiting for that thing that makes you feel a little bit better. Now, maybe this is. Maybe I'm over-dramatizing, and maybe this next bit of news is great progress, and we just don't know where it's on the totem pole of great progress, where great and good or better or outstanding is, right? Yeah. But Scott Strickland, the AD, just said good news continues for Keontae. So he did say that in a tweet. And the statement is, Keontae Johnson continues to show truly encouraging signs of progress as he undergoes tests and further evaluation at UF Health. He and his family have again expressed their gratitude for the outpouring of love, prayers, and well wishes. Florida's non-conference men's basketball game scheduled in the next week will be postponed. Florida Atlantic on the 19th, Florida A&M on the 20th, and James Madison on the 22nd. He says this has been an emotionally taxing time for Keontae's family, friends, and teammates. Our hope is that everyone impacted will take an opportunity to process those emotions and regroup ahead of the start of the new year. I think it's a good move by Florida. Give this team a little bit of a break, catch their breath a little bit, and say, hey, we got to process all this. There's a lot going on for a team that, and I don't know, maybe they know a whole heck of a lot more, but I can't imagine they do. I don't think they want stuff being leaked out, so they probably don't know a whole lot more about Keontae's situation, even though they might know some. So that's the latest from the Florida Gators, and continued thoughts and prayers, of course, with Keontae Johnson as I guess we're all just kind of waiting for that day he gets up there and walks out of that at UF Health. Yeah. And we all then feel great. You know, it reminds me a little bit of earlier this year, kind of the waiting game around like a totally different circumstance, by the way. But remember those moments in between Ryan Newman after the big crash? Right? And then and I think it was, it might have been some 36 hours or so, then maybe even 2 days, and then all of a sudden he walked out of the hospital. We're like, wait a minute, how's he doing that? Yeah. That's what it kind of reminds me of, because you just don't get, again, I'm not saying we should have the information. It's just, as we all watch this, you just wish you had a little bit more.
I hear you.
At the moment. I'll take you back to the 2017 draft. Some interesting things about the New Orleans Saints that you might find about the Jacksonville Jaguars. In a strange way, in a related way. It's next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A breezy and cool day today. Grab your sweaters and jackets. Skies become mostly sunny. Highs in the upper 50s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Just in time for the holidays. Save up to 40% on everything store-wide at Beard's Diamonds.
Why call a professional if you're only going to get a half solution? That's my philosophy. You called me to truly fix your problems like, boom. Fixed and fixed right. So when Griffin Service offered full-service drain clearing, I insisted we take that approach. And for drains, it's not really about busting the clog. Sure, we'll do that better than anyone. But honestly, most Jake with a snake chuck in a truck plumbers can bust a clog. Professional quality drain clearing is really about taking an out-of-control situation and putting you, the client, back in control. I'm talking about transparency, with upfront pricing and camera work included in the price, so you know that the problem was fixed and fixed right. Because on the off chance you've got a bigger problem than clog busting can solve, you'll want to know you're dealing with a plumber you can trust, who has all the equipment to fix problems properly and guarantee the work. So call the plumbers to do it right at
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Boss, hit the gas! What's going on? You were supposed to check to see if that house had anyone home. Now their porch is on fire.
Boss, I didn't do it. The ding-dong doorbell camera just burst into flames and started melting.
Oh, so it's true. Those things are fire hazards.
Yeah, and now we know another big difference between those cheap ding-dong doorbell cameras and a SafeTouch security system.
Well, yeah, with SafeTouch, homeowners don't have to worry about their video cameras getting hacked.
Or employees spying on customers.
Or bursting into flames.
Uh-oh, fire department's coming, boss. Time to go.
I'm way ahead of you. By the way, your eyebrows are completely gone.
Oh, well, maybe it's an improvement.
Just so I know you still got your senses, recite the Crooks R Us golden rule again.
Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Don't worry, it's burned into my brain.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At Lloyd's Construction and Consulting, we've been celebrating 10 years in business. Over the years, we've constructed thousands of projects in the Northeast Florida region. For commercial to residential, we handle each project with the respect and care it deserves. We look forward to speaking with you about your next construction project. Find out more at lloydsconstruction.net. Join ESPN 690 in Shopping the 904. When you help businesses here on the First Coast, you're really helping all of us. And it keeps our local economy going. That means jobs. 2020 has been a really tough year, especially for locally owned businesses. And you can make a difference when you shop local. So if you live in St. John's, Duval, Baker, Clay, Nassau, or other surrounding counties, shop local. Shop the 904.
Shop the 904.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Unfiltered, Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti.
You actually shouldn't have never benched Mitch Trubisky when he was 3-0. You probably would have put yourself in a much better place right now today.
Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio, your smart speaker, or on ESPN News.
Brent Martineau.
I'm not the guy that likes to, be over dramatic.
Austin Lane.
Well, you're almost in tears yesterday.
I was.
So.
Well, that was a little different.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
From our perspective, we're like, nah, we're not going out there tanking. Like, if anybody's thinking that, we're not doing that. Like, I promise. Like, if it was up to me, we'd be 16-0 right now. You know, that's just how it goes. So yeah, we're not trying to tank.
I don't know if that makes me feel better or not.
What would have happened if he came out and said that, though?
Listen, guys.
The fix is in.
Listen, once we got to 1-6, we just felt like this might be the best way to go.
Yeah, man.
That'd be like the most classic thing ever.
It'd be unheard of. It would be unheard of. I mean, that'd be right up there with a coach during the preseason. What do you think about your team? Our team sucks this year. We're going to be horrible.
Would you get in trouble if you said that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There'd be a lot of things that would follow.
You'd be having a nice conversation with the head coach and
the whole
GM
organization
now,
would be having a whole conversation.
Yeah. That's kind of grounds for dismissal depending who you are.
Interesting. You'll hear from it a little bit later, but and by the way, players usually do this. See, I don't know if you ask this question to Adam Gase in New York, I'm not sure how many players are going to sit there and say, "Yeah, I hope he comes back."
Yeah,
I think they'll more phrase it like, "Well, it's a business. We know sometimes things happen." You know.
Yeah.
Around here, Miles, again, you probably hear it a little bit later, but he said that, hey, if somebody came in, and a lot of them do talk to Shad. I don't know if everybody does, but a lot of the captains and leaders talk to Shad Khan. As the season ends. And he said, if he asked me to keep Doug Marrone, I'd say, heck yeah. So, again, I think Doug's done a nice job for the players. I don't think there's a beef between, obviously the Minshew thing was interesting, but I don't really think there's a heavy beef. But it doesn't take a beef also to say, hey, we might be better off making a change right about now. Those guys, they know how it works. I mean, it's 4 years in.
Well, Miles Jack also knows how it works from when Tom Coughlin was here, and we can assume that it was kind of a mess in that locker room. Now, you had one successful season, but after that, obviously, there was a snowball effect, and the team went in the dumpster. And in doing so, you had a lot of situations where there's a lot of bad optics and a lot of, just like a lot of bad scenes in that locker room. So I think to go from that to how bad it was with the optics and the grievances and all that stuff, to go from Doug Marrone, who's essentially kind of being himself this year, and we see the players responding to it and the players enjoy that. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with Miles Jack here, but I see where Miles Jack is coming from and saying that he would keep Doug Marrone.
Yeah. And I get it. Listen, even on the way out, I remember, you knew the record was, what the record was, and those questions that were asked in December about Gus Bradley. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you know you know what's coming. They know what's coming. Everybody, they're not blind to that. Like, it would not be a surprise. Mm-hmm. All right. You get to the point where the surprise is if you're coming back.
Correct.
And that would be the surprise. Like, I would think. Now, again, the players don't sit there on social media. They don't listen to the shows. They don't listen to the narrative that's built up.
Well, so he was saying he was, though. Miles Jack said he did.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah,
today?
Miles Jack says he doesn't, I guess, have Twitter or Instagram, but he sees the blogs and the websites talking about them wanting the Jaguars to tank.
It threw me off because when the Jags tweeted something, they tagged all of their players except for Miles Jack. It just said his name, but I don't think he's on Twitter.
Well, I think he got off it.
Yeah, but Miles, he still says that he hears it.
Listen, Miles is interesting this year. Like, I've done interviews with Miles, like where we sat down, and he's like, yeah, I watch you guys all the time, like every night, 10:30 on Fox 30.
Yeah,
he spit it out.
Yeah.
Like, he seriously does. Like, that was a couple years ago. Now he might turn it out, but I found that interesting that he said that. I mean, it's a young guy. It's like, he's not watching news probably. He's like 23 years old, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, he was a homebody guy. He has 3 dogs, and
making
in his
news
new house,
again.
and he's just watching whatever. And so, but then it was interesting. Like, he pivoted this year. He pivoted to be like, listen, I didn't have a great year last year. Yeah. I'm going to still be a leader of this team. I'm all in on this team, but I'm not sitting here and talking to the media all the time. I mean, I think he's just talked twice.
Yeah.
He's a captain, and he's just talked twice all year to the media. I mean, and listen, he's had a fantastic year. Maybe he wanted to brush all that aside. I'm okay with that. Like, I respect that. I think it is a little bit hard to be a captain and guy who's so vocal in the past and not really do that more. But if he wasn't comfortable, wanted to focus on the craft a little bit more and thought this would make him better, I can respect that.
Listen, I respect it because last year, if he would have got off social media and Instagram and not said a word, I would have got it, right? Because it wasn't his best year last year, right? He was playing out of position. He didn't do that well, but it's very telling. And I get it. Right now, the season not going the way that Myles Jack wanted, not going the way that anybody wanted, right? You've only won one game so far this season. But Myles Jack individually has played at a very high caliber all-star type of level. And if any reason was to come back on social media, well, hell, when you're doing good, you want to be on social media, man. You want to see what they're saying about you. You want to put your energy out into the social media universe. It's when you're doing bad. It's when you're making mistakes, when you're getting embarrassed, with your individual efforts. That's when you want to get off social media. So respect to Myles Jack for maybe having, the season of his life right now and still taking it upon himself to go, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this mess right now. I'm just going to stay off social media and do my own thing. I respect it.
How about the New Orleans Saints? Okay, I'm going to bring this article up now. I might talk a little. It's kind of long, and there's a lot of different things to it, but I just found this fascinating. I shared it on social media today. It's in The Athletic, and I'm going to give you, this is the last quote, okay? I'm going to start with the last quote from Jeff Ireland. Jeff Ireland, yeah. Who's obviously in the front office and helped build this thing back up. Remember, he used to be with the Dolphins, and I think he's a guy that you should be, that's one of those guys that's been in it before and now is showing this ability to really raise the New Orleans Saints back, from a redraft, replenish standpoint. He says, we got 2 out of our top 10, 5 out of our top 35, and 6 out of our top 60. He says, I remember telling the draft room that day, I said, hey, look, fellas, do you guys realize what we just did? We just got 5 out of our top 35. I could go 10 more drafts, and we won't get 5 out of our top 35. We just drafted 3 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders. And there were some choice words after that from heck yeah kind of thing,
From who? From Snitch.
No. It was just another quote. Like Mickey Loomis, who's the Saints general manager.
I got you.
So that was kind of interesting. But Jeff Ireland's the assistant general manager, and Mickey Loomis is the general manager. And obviously Sean Payton has a lot to say. But the whole article here in The Athletic is about the draft of 2017. Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Marcus Williams, who's a safety. I don't think he's like everybody knows, but, that's Marcus Williams, a good player for them. Alvin Kamara, Alex Anzalone, and then even Trey Hendrickson, who was a 3rd-round pick. They didn't pick again until like the 6th round, pick defensive end. So in their first 2, 4, 6 picks, that's what he's talking about. They had a tremendous draft, and that's what the whole article is on. So what's wild about that is their 4th pick in that draft is Alvin Kamara.
Sure.
That's the same draft where the Jaguars took Leonard Fournette, number 4 overall.
Yeah.
And the Carolina Panthers took Christian McCaffrey, number 8 overall. And so there are some fascinating things in here about they were surprised that the Jags took Fournette that early.
Sure.
That was a surprise. Like, they said it at the time. They were like, wow, like, we knew he was a good player. We had him high, we had him on our board, too.
Yeah.
Like a first-round guy. But we were a little, okay, because they were picking 11th in the first round that year. Let me just double-check I said that right. Yeah, 11th. So the next part of that, and they were a little surprised, by the way, in Christian McCaffrey going number 8, too.
Yeah.
But they did. What's interesting there is they had McCaffrey and Fournette ahead of Kamara on their board.
Say it one more time.
So they had the 2 guys that went in the top 10.
Correct.
They had them ahead of Kamara. The Saints did.
Yeah.
So, like, where they were picked in terms of the sequential order was kind of where the Saints saw it, too. So the way it happened, but not that high.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't that much space. The Saints got Kamara with, like, the 67th pick.
Well, keep in mind, they had to trade up to get him.
Yeah.
They traded a 2nd-round pick, I think, the following season to get Kamara.
Yes, to get 2 third, because they really jumped back in. They had a bunch of 3rd-round picks.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is 4 for Fournette, 8 for McCaffrey, 67 for Kamara.
It's crazy.
And, right, a lot of people will sit here and say, like, Oh, I mean, you could have got Alvin Kamara. Like, we do that all the time, right, with drafts.
Hindsight's 2020.
What I think is interesting is two things here. The Jags, in their evaluations, might not have been wrong in terms of saying, hey, we think Fournette's the better guy. We think, or Carolina, we think McCaffrey's the better guy. It looks like other teams felt that way, too. But it's where you pick them, which still bothers Jags fans. Like, that's what bothered. The fact that they went 4th overall with Leonard Fournette is what bothers Jags fans. Because why do you go running back that high? And if you look at the production of Leonard Fournette, I always say this, Leonard Fournette wasn't a bad pick. It's one of those, it was where he was picked.
Yeah.
That makes it bad. I mean, he was very productive in Jacksonville. He helped you to that 2017 AFC Championship game. And then, of course, all other things transpired. But he wasn't a bad player for the Jaguars. Certainly wasn't.
No, listen. How do I want to put this here? Okay, so with Leonard Fournette, did it turn out to pay dividends taking him that high? Absolutely not. But at the time, I wasn't mad the Jags, and I understand it's a first-round running back, and there's always a caveat, and there's always a red flag to that. But, like, the Jaguars fell in love with him, right? So they maybe thought outside the box a little bit. They defied what a first-round pick should be, and they took him. They took a chance, they gambled, and they paid for it, right? Now, if they would have drafted Christian McCaffrey, we aren't having this conversation right now, right? Because the Panthers, you can say, well, they took a risk. They thought outside the box. They got Christian McCaffrey. Right now, there's not one single Carolina Panthers fan out there thinking that the Carolina Panthers, messed up for taking a first-round pick in Christian McCaffrey. No one's thinking that. Obviously, if you're a Jaguars fan, that's all we preach about because Fournette's no longer here. So I'm not mad at the risk, but I obviously am disappointed in who the risk turned out to be.
Yeah, and here's what's fascinating to me. And again, we'll get more into the Mahomes stuff in just a bit because Mahomes actually is somebody they coveted.
Yeah.
And then Kansas City goes up and gets. So I want to ask a little bit about that in the long term. But they did work on Kamara. They went to Tennessee. When they went there, like this one line says, Saints had dinner with Kamara the next day in Knoxville with some of his volunteer teammates, including defensive end Derek Barnett and quarterback Josh Dobbs. So they did a lot of homework. They went there.
Yeah.
But when they went there, they wanted him to run routes and stuff, and he'd already said through his agent he wasn't working out that day. Didn't even have his cleats.
Yeah.
And somebody had to go up to him and be like, hey, man, it's probably good if you go run some routes here because Sean Payton is here and he wants you to do that. Like, it's probably not a good look if you don't.
Yeah.
And so initially he was like, I'm not doing it. And then he ended up going to get cleats. They're like, you can get cleats. It's Tennessee. They've got some somewhere.
Listen, props to the Saints because they had the culture to cultivate Alvin Kamara. Remember, Alvin Kamara was at Alabama, got thrown out of school,
went to junior college,
and then he played at Tennessee, and also had some knee injuries and things like that as well. So there was some red flags with Alvin Kamara. Obviously, the Saints thought they had somebody. Even with Mark Ingram toting the rock, they said, hey, Alvin Kamara's a special guy. Let's go get him. And it's paid dividends ever since.
Yeah, it certainly has. By the way, Leonard Fournette, again, did it pay dividends? Short term, it did. Went to the AFC Championship game that year. He was a big reason why. Obviously, long term, it did not.
Yeah.
We'll get a little bit. I want to investigate this article a little bit more because there are a couple of things, couple of questions. Do the Jags do this? Do other teams do this? Are they missing? Were the Saints the only other team interested? Why weren't the Jags interested? They had freaking Drew Brees.
I hear you.
More to come on that and more on the way on ESPN 690.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane of Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. If you didn't catch today's episode, I'm not mad at you, not even disappointed, but check out what you missed.
What's the concept?
It's like mini games that you kind of compete battle royale style, but it's mini games and you just try to, be the last one standing essentially.
Let me try this again. So what is the concept?
It'll be
English. Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. Subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
Worthless warranties, slimy salespeople, shady subcontractors. It's no wonder people don't trust most roofing companies. At All Pro Roofing and Consulting LLC, we didn't trust them either. That's why we started our own roofing company. With more than 25 years of experience, we offer industry-leading warranties, simple, fair financing, and no subcontractors. Residential, commercial, even multifamily properties. At All Pro Roofing and Consulting, we've got you covered. Learn more at allproroofingllc.com.
Did you miss it? Not yet, but there's still not much time left. It's the final days of the year-end clearance happening right now at Arlington Toyota, where you'll score some of the biggest savings of the year, even on used vehicles. So if you're shopping pre-owned, the year-end clearance at Arlington Toyota includes every used car, truck, SUV, and van on Arlington's lot. And they've got a lot of them, over 750 new and used, but you've got to make the move now before the sale's gone. For big year-end savings plus great financing, you got to see my friends at Arlington Toyota today. With Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, almost everybody's approved. But only days remain to get year-end clearance savings. But you'll still have 30 days to decide if you love your ride. That's right. Thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy, you get 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. So what are you waiting for? Get year-end clearance savings even on pre-owned. But the clock is ticking down to the final days. So don't wait. Get to Arlington Toyota today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The Golf Club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the Golf Club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the Golf Club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Nearly 250,000 men and women in the U.S. will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
First Coast No More Homeless Pets Veterinary Hospital provides premium veterinary care for less, 7 days a week, a full range of services with compassionate care. Pet owners shouldn't have to choose between paying bills or a healthy pet. Call 425-0005, 425-0005, or fcnmhp.org.
The hardest part of any goal is oftentimes getting started. All month long, we're going to help you get started on the path for a happier you for free and without having to leave your home. If your business would like to get involved, visit GetStartedJax.com.
Guys, happy holidays from Prime Men's Medical Center. This has been a trying year, so we want to help you enjoy the holiday season. Suffering from ED or PE? Has Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra let you down? The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center can have you lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer in the bedroom. See results on first visit guaranteed or consultation is free. Call 904-206-8105 now and start the new year off with a bang. Call Prime Men's Medical Center, 904-206-8105.
Just in time for the holidays, make sure to stock up on your favorite Bud Light Seltzer Variety, Classic, and Remix packs this season. Also, look out for the new Ultra Organic Seltzer coming in January. Grab all the refreshing low-calorie flavors at Racetrack, Brookview Food Store, or Blanding Grocery. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At Lloyd's Construction and Consulting, we've been celebrating 10 years in business. Over the years, we've constructed thousands of projects in the Northeast Florida region. From commercial to residential, we handle each project with the respect and care it deserves. We look forward to speaking with you about your next construction project. Find out more at lloydsconstruction.net.
Free shipping is great. Free shipping, no minimum. That's that Walmart Plus magic for your holiday. Get all your last-minute shopping done with free next-day or 2-day shipping on a huge selection of eligible items from Walmart.com. With no order minimum, free shipping means the freedom to click that order button to your heart's content. Just another added benefit to your membership. Maybe that's why they call it Walmart Plus. Start your 15-day free trial today at walmart.com/plus. See membership details. Restrictions apply.
My NFL MVP is Russell Wilson halfway through the season. Plus, like Kyler Murray, has impressed me most. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
I think Jan is going to play extremely hard on Sunday. He's definitely going to play really, really hard on Sunday. So, yeah, I'm sure he'll be playing hard.
That's a pretty good soundbite for Miles Jack.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I still wonder. I mean, I think we're going to wonder, okay? And you know me, I'm a believer that I can't believe that Jan at 37.5 sacks is not here.
Yeah.
But I do wonder, with that price tag, if the Jags would have regretted it. And I wonder where we're going to sit at that at some point. down the road. Like, I think it's fair to wonder that. Like, again, if he gets 8 sacks for the next 4 or 5 years, is that worth paying him $20 million a year? I don't know. I wouldn't think so. Like, I mean, listen, Dwan Smoot had 6.5 sacks last year. You know, and by the way, sacks aren't the only thing. I mean, you can be a disruptor, the forced fumbles, the clinching plays,
but let's
the big
be honest,
plays,
man,
all
as
that
an edge
stuff.
rusher, sacks are everything.
Well, they are to every, but I mean, I'm just saying for like you watching, you might say,
no,
hey, listen, compare 8 sacks for Jan to 6.5 sacks on Smoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I understand that. But yes, the outside world, the bottom line is you better have if you're going to sign a $20 million deal, you better have like a 12, 13, 15 sack year in there.
Of course.
You better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's why Clowney didn't get his money.
And he hasn't been lately. You know, you're right. Clowney hasn't been either. So, again, I think it's ridiculous he's still not on this roster and in this franchise. I really do. For some way, it just epitomizes what obviously has gone wrong. But I do think at the end of the day, you could look up 3 years from now and say, listen, if the Jags had it wouldn't have been a waste of money, but they wouldn't have got all their value for it. Now, the Jags aren't up against the cap, so it doesn't matter. Like, none of that stuff even matters. That's why, even more so, why it's ridiculous he's not on the roster. They're sitting here with all this money.
Yeah.
They got no young players outside of Miles Jack and Joe Schobert locked in. So Jan could have been locked in with Josh Allen for the next 3-4 years.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. If Yannick Ngakoue, let's say next year he only has maybe 4 or 5 sacks, then you would say, well, that was a smart investment, or it was a smart move by not investing in him and letting him go, and I get all that. But I think that you fail to forget the value that he would have brought from signing one of your own guys that you drafted. You would forget the value that he would bring to help the young guys out and obviously be a leader and be a pillar for years to come, especially now with the new coaching staff coming in. So while you may not get your money's worth per se, and it could be up for debate on the field, you also can't neglect the fact of what he brings to you off the field and in that locker room as well.
Do you think the Jags were interested in Patrick Mahomes at all back in 2017?
Probably not, no.
Keep in mind Deshaun Watson in that class as well.
Yeah.
That was Trubisky and all them too.
Correct.
You know, I will say this. And this is going to be total. I'm going to be upfront with you and tell you this is just more hearsay and conversation.
Yeah.
Over the last few months, year, and you know, people have their own beliefs and agendas and all this stuff, and so that's why I preface it with this: is that I've been told that they didn't do work at quarterbacks that year at all.
Yeah.
Like hardly any work.
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe because you always will vet players, but I've been told that. I just don't know if I fully believe that, you know, because Bortles was re-signed. So, like, well, we got our guy now. Why do we even need to look at a quarterback, right, going to 2017? That being said, the freaking New Orleans Saints, who had Drew Brees, and yes, while he was aging a little bit, he's still Drew Brees, and now they're still playing Drew Brees. They apparently loved Patrick Mahomes. Jeff Ireland says, we loved Mahomes. Loomis, all of our guys loved the players, Sean in particular. It's easy for everyone to say that now, but it was true for us back then. Peyton, he was exceptional in the meeting we had with him. Ireland, Sean worked him out. He was very impressive. Peyton said, the one thing that stood out about him, this player could climb the pocket, escape, throw from all the positions. We play in an imperfect game where there's protection issues, and we just saw him make throws go left, right, through the pocket, up the pocket. Really unique throws. He was fantastic. We saw a lot of traits that we saw with Brett Favre. Such a likable player. You watch him on film. You saw a high ceiling. He was very impressive and certainly a targeted player for us in that draft. How did they see that?
I mean, they say – okay, go ahead.
I know. You're going to say they say it in hindsight.
Well, yeah, you know who says they like Patrick Mahomes and were thinking about taking him? People who didn't take Patrick Mahomes. Okay, simple as that.
I don't know. Would you be apt to be like this? We were like this about Patrick Mahomes? Would you be apt to say that stuff when you didn't get him?
Listen, if you were that hell-bent on Patrick Mahomes, saying all those nice things about him, and we're talking about the most important position on the field, and we're talking about a guy in Drew Brees who had some injury history, who's on the back nine of his career, then why wouldn't you take him at number 11 then? Why would you take Marshawn Lattimore then? If you truly felt that much about him. It's the quarterback.
Well, didn't they trade up? What did KC trade up? I think KC traded up in front to number 10.
Oh, yeah, my bad, number 10. So I stand corrected.
So the Saints just didn't trade up.
Yeah, okay, they didn't trade up then. I stand corrected.
Because they might have thought they was going to
maybe slip
go down.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it keeps going. Look what they keep saying about him, okay? Well, no, this was more on Kamara. But it strikes me to say, how much interest did the Jags? This is one of the big problems with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The freaking Saints, and I'm just going to take this for what it's worth on the article, okay?
Yeah.
The Saints and the Chiefs have good quarterback play. And they see a guy like Patrick Mahomes, and they say, I love that guy. And if he's there at number 11, they actually go in and say they told Drew Brees that, hey, we might pick him. We didn't think he'd even get this far. We might pick Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Alex Smith, MVP candidate. They go trade up for Patrick Mahomes. This organization, with a Super Bowl champion, now executive vice president of football operations in Coughlin, with Dave Caldwell, with Doug Marrone, with everybody scouting, says, we're good. We got Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
We just signed him to a 2-year deal. We're good.
Yeah.
We got Blake Bortles. How the hell does that happen?
How
does that happen?
The funny thing is, too, Todd McShay had Patrick Mahomes in his his last mock draft. He had Patrick Mahomes going number 32 to the New Orleans Saints.
Again, it was a little bit of a surprise that all this momentum came up there, but obviously there were teams. If you're saying these kind of things about Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs absolutely loved him, and look at Andy Reid, and are they just that forward thinking? Did they see something that nobody else saw? Or why wouldn't more teams, and not just the Jags, but more teams be more interested? And how could the Jags stand pat? How could you stand pat? And you had Watson as well. And listen, there were some problems with Watson coming out. I wasn't a huge Watson guy. Wasn't. Drives you nuts. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Worthless warranties, slimy salespeople, shady subcontractors. It's no wonder people don't trust most roofing companies. At All Pro Roofing and Consulting LLC, we didn't trust them either. That's why we started our own roofing company. With more than 25 years of experience, we offer industry-leading warranties, simple, fair financing, and no subcontractors. Residential, commercial, even multifamily properties. At All Pro Roofing and Consulting, we've got you covered. Learn more at allproroofingllc.com.
In these unprecedented times, nurses on the front lines continue to deliver treatment and care under some extreme medical and environmental conditions. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. If you are a nurse or other licensed healthcare professional and currently face an investigation or complaint that threatens your professional license, let us help you protect your rights. Call us at 904-600-4000 for a consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville. Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to...
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi. Functionality, strength, throwing without soreness. That's what the Saints are looking for from quarterback Drew Brees in practice this week when it comes to determining whether he plays Sunday against the Chiefs. New Orleans still in the running for the top seed in the NFC. Raiders and Chargers kick off week 15 tonight. A win vital for Las Vegas, which has dropped 3 of 4, is 9th in the AFC, a game out of the final wild card spot. With all their issues, the Raiders' playoff run will be short if they even get in, believes ESPN's Marcus Spears.
They still can be devastating offensively, but even on that side of the ball, it seems they've taken a few steps back. Really concerned about this team, but defensively, if you are giving up as many points as they are, even if you make the playoffs, you're going to be exiting after the first week.
College basketball, Florida's postponed its next 3 games because of what the school says was the emotional impact of star forward Keontae Johnson collapsing on the court last Saturday. Johnson continues to show signs of progress as he undergoes further tests and evaluation. Oregon agreed on a new 6-year, $27 million contract with football coach Mario Cristobal.
We're back on Friday, and I'm giving the Raiders one more damn chance before I jump off the Raiders bandwagon. It's go time for the Silver and Black. We'll react to Thursday Night Football at 6 Eastern on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
We'll think about that on Saturday night after we win. I think LSU made it in there before when there was only 2 teams with 2 losses. So, if I'm not mistaken, does that sound about right? Back in one of those years with the BCS. So I thought they had 2 losses and made it. Maybe I'm off on that one. So, but let's see. We'll worry about winning on Saturday night because that's all we can control.
That is Dan Mullen. Control the controllables. They didn't control the controllables Saturday night, and now they're in an uncontrollable situation. We'll talk more about the SEC championship game coming up. I think it's going to be a better game than people think. I really do.
Yeah.
And maybe I should just push that because it's on CBS 47 on Saturday night.
There you go.
I sound like one of the announcers, like when it's 24-3 at halftime, and you're like, well, I still, listen,
come out there, please keep
really
watching.
Fourth quarter.
We need these ratings. Please keep watching us. It's going to be a tune, please.
Nah, I think a highly entertaining game, even if it was by 17. I think entertaining game because Florida's offense is that, Jacob Finn, he times in 10 games for the Gators.
It's impressive.
2 times in 10 games.
It's impressive.
I mean, listen, this isn't the Alabama defense you grew up. It's not Catlets.
I mean,
Alabama's now. It's a little bit different.
It is a little different, man. But let's see. Like last game, Arkansas scored 3 points on them. You dropped 17 points on them. Auburn only dropped 13 points. Kentucky dropped 3 points. Mississippi State, high-power offense, Mike Leach dropped 0 points. Dropped 17 points. That's pretty, man.
Yeah, listen, they're good.
Okay.
But the offense can dominate a lot of that. Hey, Rick Catlett from Taxpayer Gator Bowl. How you doing, man? How good is that Alabama defense? Come on, it's going to be fireworks Saturday night.
Listen, take the over. I promise you on that one. What the over is, you take the over.
Absolutely. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, it could be a 17-point game at the A, but I think it's going to be a fun watch. I don't think I'm saying that because it's going to be on CBS 47.
No, I think if you get to I think Florida loses by 10-14. I think it's something like 62-48. Florida's going to score. Everybody's talking about the LSU game. They weren't ready. They thought they would just show up and win. I think Florida's capable. In fact, I told something, Brent, the other day. I said, you remember the LSU game last year? That's the kind of game I expect to see.
There you go. That's good. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, joined by Rick Catlett in his final year as the president CEO of the Taxslayer Gator Bowl. Unless you've changed your mind, Rick.
No, I hadn't. And actually, I retired in July, but they hadn't replaced me, so they asked me to continue to do it. So they're getting an extra 6 months out of me that I didn't plan on giving them. But, no, it's all good. It's all good. I'm excited. We're going to have a great game, good matchup. COVID's going to screw everything up, but it's been doing that the whole year. And we just look forward to a 2021 and getting back to normal and a new CEO. And we got a really good one coming in, and so we're real happy over here.
Wow, that's good. I'm going to ask you this as bluntly as I can ask you. Is it definitely going to happen in your mind, the Taxslayer Gator Bowl?
Well, yes, it's definitely going to happen unless somebody shows up here on Friday. Our game is on Saturday, January the 2nd at 12 noon. They'll get tested at their school on Thursday, fly into Jacksonville on Friday. They'll get their results, and there's a possibility that if somebody doesn't have enough players, they could do that. But looking at our board, we're looking at some teams that are having no problem with COVID, so we think we're going to be in good shape.
Rick, obviously, when you're going through the criteria of who to bring in here, what teams, obviously it depends on the rankings and, the wins and losses and all that stuff. Well, let's be honest. With COVID-19 this year, especially with the Big Ten, the wins and losses aren't the same. There hasn't been a lot of games played. So have you had to kind of change your criteria now about who you guys want to play in this game?
Well, we call it the three-legged stool. We want heads and beds and fannies and seats. Those are the first two criteria. And the last criteria is television ratings for our title sponsor. This year, we're limited, as the Jaguars are, to capacity of 16,000. We don't expect to have a lot of people traveling because of the COVID. So we've given up on the idea of heads and beds and fannies and seats, and we're strictly focused on television. But, yes, this is you look at these teams and you try to get some matchups that will be intriguing for people to watch. And, I said all along for the last 3 weeks I'd love Ole Miss and North Carolina because of their wide-open offense. North Carolina goes down and beats the heck out of Miami and ends up more than likely playing in the Orange Bowl. So that kind of leaves us on the ACC side with NC State, who won their last four and finished 8-3. They're a ranked team, and Miami, who's also ranked at 8-2. So from that perspective, we've got some good teams that have had some good years. On the SEC side, they're so dang good at the top. You saw the rankings. Florida didn't drop as much as everybody thought they would. If they were within 14 points of Alabama at the end of the game, they probably stay in the New Year's Day 6. So Florida, Georgia, Alabama, A&M are all four off the board. And then you've got Auburn, Ole Miss, LSU has decided not to play in a bowl game, and Missouri and Kentucky. Those are probably the four teams in our mix. And if I had to guess today, it would probably be between Ole Miss and Kentucky. I don't think you want to have an Auburn team that's fired their coach and in the middle of all the issues that they're dealing with right now. And I think Missouri will be off the board. If they beat Mississippi State, they'll be 6-4 and they'll be off the board. So we're probably in pretty good shape to have a good matchup and a good TV game. Yeah, absolutely. Rick Catlett with us on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Recently retired, but still working. President and CEO of Taxslayer Gator Bowl. Has been hard to kind of step back, step away? I hope you're feeling well, by the way, spending time with the fam. But is it hard to get away once you've been in it so long? 29 years, I've not gotten burned out. I could do this for another 10 years if it wasn't for my health. The COVID has helped because a lot of the things that you look forward to in our jobs is not been able to happen. Our Chairman's Club weekend, going to the SEC annual meeting, the ACC annual meeting, the Big Ten annual meeting, those kinds of things you miss. But I would have missed them anyway because even still being here, we weren't having those. I'll really miss it next year, I think, is probably the time that you'll really miss it. But I will tell you this, not traveling and staying at home and watching college football on TV, I just have to tell you that's more fun than because I've never gotten to do that in the last 25, 28 years. Yeah. So sitting at home and watching all the games is a lot of fun. Nothing wrong with that. 70-inch TV and just laid back.
And by the way, Saturday, for my money, Saturday, because New Year's Day, you got the bowl game spread out now. But Saturday with all the championships going on, that's the best day now of the year coming up.
rivalry weekend and championship weekend are the two best, right?
Yeah.
And our bowl association now calls it bowl week, and we're going to have some really good bowl games. I've been disappointed a little bit with the teams that are opting out. But what do you do, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is the teams that are going to play are the teams at the top. They're good teams. They're going to play a lot of good teams on the other side. So this is maybe the way it should be, 20, 25 bowl games, and to heck with those other 15 or 20 of them. We'll stick to the ones that are important, right?
Well, we're glad the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl is still there, and on January 2nd. I will say this, and I'm looking up, I love Ole Miss's offense. So if you get Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, I suggest handing out clipboards to everybody, flying clipboards, that is. But, you're talking 40 points a game. I think they're third in the country in yards. But you guys had your eyes on that right prize, because what a game that would have been on paper to get the Rebels and Tar Heels, who are third and fourth in the country in yards. But still, to get Kiffin and Ole Miss, I think people sleep on the Ole Miss offense because everybody's talking about Florida's and Alabama's. But I think they are right next in line in terms of, I will now flip on an Ole Miss game. What the heck am I doing watching an Ole Miss game? Mm-hmm. Because it's fun as heck to watch them play, Rick.
It's unbelievable. Great quarterback, great team, and they've been that way a couple of years. And I'm kind of looking forward to the Ole Miss LSU game, because I think Ole Miss is going to do what Florida should have done to LSU and beat them pretty big. And, Miami let us down as usual. They're a pretty good football team. They got a great little quarterback, but boy, they just wore them out, and it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. North Carolina's it would have been great. I started my career with Mac Brown. It would have been nice to finish it with Mac Brown.
Oh, that'd been pretty cool bookend. Yeah, very, very cool. You guys have tickets on sale. What are the restrictions for the January 2nd game?
And whatever you have experienced at the Jaguar games is exactly the protocol we're going to use.
Okay.
We've got them spaced, 16,500 tickets roughly. We only have about 4,500 tickets left. The schools are going to get 1,000 for one school and 750 to the other school. So 4,500 tickets. We're keeping the prices low. Premiums, our partnership with the Jaguars has been outstanding, and they'll handle all the premium seats. So we think between those teams, we probably will have an opportunity to sell the rest of them pretty quickly after we make the announcement Sunday.
That's awesome. Let me ask you, to keep you for two more questions on college football in general, or maybe even college sports. But the Final Four, what is your take on Ohio State and these conferences that you're a Southeastern football guy, whether it's ACC, SEC, mostly SEC. But what's your take right now on Ohio State? This committee has been tasked over the years to say, give me the four best teams. But in this COVID year where the games are mismatch in terms of how many you play, are you okay with the Buckeyes getting in if they win Saturday?
If they win Saturday, I think that they should win. I think the in, because the Big Ten championship, even though they played a limited number of games. But let's fast forward. If they'd have played a full season, Ohio State would have probably, if they lost the game, it would probably only be one. So, yeah, I think I'm okay with Ohio State being in there if they win Saturday. Had they not played the championship game, I would have been opposed to them being in there. And you're really going on tradition and history of Ohio State. They have dominated when they've played, but they hadn't played anybody. There's nobody in the Big Ten that's any good this year. I mean, you just run down the Big Ten, and it's just, Michigan, Michigan State, all the traditional teams. I really love the Northwestern coach and all that they've done at Northwestern, but is Northwestern really that good? No, probably not. And I have the same issues with Coastal Carolina and Cincinnati. Put them both in the SEC, make them play 10 SEC games, and I promise you they would not be undefeated.
Yeah, although you put them in the Big Ten this year, and maybe Cincinnati does run the table other than Ohio State.
They probably would have won all the games except for the Ohio State game.
Absolutely. All right, so I have one more for you. We're getting into this new time frame of college sports where likeness and image, and there's a proposal on the table just over I think the last couple of days this has really popped up about reform in college football and college sports and Congress getting involved. Do you think let's just say a casual observer, not somebody in the weeds on college sports, will notice something big over the next, 3 to 5 to 10 years at the way college sports is operated because of all the dollars involved?
Yes, I do. And I think what we need to do in college football for sure is to have a commissioner of the college football thing, and I think that they ought to turn it over to the conferences to run. I think the last thing we ever want to see is Congress get involved in anything, because they can't even, in the worst crisis we've ever had in our country, come up with a COVID relief bill. Too much politics, so keep them out, keep the NCAA out, and let the conferences run it. I think there has to be a reckoning coming, because TV can't continue to pay the bills. I think it's a matter of time where $150 million athletic director's budget in Georgia or Florida is out of hand. Everybody talks about football. You talk about paying college football coaches $8 million. How about paying a women's softball team $1 million to coach your softball team with no revenue coming in? So I think there's going to be a change. Title IX is always going to exist, and so it will be the detriment of men's sports based on that you'll see some of the universities have to cut back on the amount of sports that they do other than football. So that's the problem.
Yeah, Rick Catlett from Tax Slayer Gator Bowl in retirement, but we still call him the president and CEO of the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Hey, great to catch up with you. Always love your thoughts on all of college athletics, and good luck with the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, January 2nd, noontime on ESPN right here in Jacksonville. We look forward to the Sunday announcement. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Brent, you've been a good friend all these years, and thank you, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
You too. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl coming up January 2nd. There you have it, too. I was curious. With all these teams opting out, are you definitely going to have it? Now, again, Rick gave the doomsday scenario of what if, right? What if the team were to come here and then you get all these positive tests, you don't have enough to play? That's certainly plausible, in any game that's happening these days. But it's on. They're pushing forward, and they almost had a really nice game with that. Ole Miss, North Carolina would have been something. I'm telling you, I would sign up for that and watch that every day.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about it. And I think I was critical maybe of it earlier in the year, or somewhat critical. Just the observation of, are they playing defense? Well, the bottom line is those games are the most fun to watch. I'm seriously never tuning in an Ole Miss game. I just don't. But Ole Miss is fun as heck to watch. I want them on when I get home on a Saturday night, and I hope they're still on at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock so I can watch it.
Listen, any team that drops 48 points on Alabama and Nick Saban, they got my respect, especially on offense. So I love Ole Miss to come to Jacksonville in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. And I'd like to have Lane Kiffin on the show. We can do a little double feature of Stay in Your Lane, if you will.
I like that. Thanks to Rick. He's done it for so long. He knows the ins and outs of college football, especially. He knows how it all works, and he's been battling some health issues. So I'm sure everybody appreciates that Rick stayed on this year to help out with this January 2nd Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, especially of all years this year, where you have to do things a little bit different.
So the Big Ten's not featured. Does it switch off every single year? Or what's?
Now it's ACC, SEC.
Oh, that's
the
all
Big
it
Ten
is?
was involved.
It was last year.
I think it was last year. Up until last year.
Yeah, because
and on a rotating basis, you had to use them certain amount of times in a certain year stretch.
Okay.
And I don't even have it in front of me right now, so I don't want to say it wrong. But I believe now I think it is just SEC, ACC now. But your question is not wrong in terms of how will the bowl games even, trickle? Because depending on who you get first pick, do you want the first pick of a team that played maybe 9 games, or does it even matter for the bowl game, right? I mean, do you want, well, Indiana's now a bad example because they don't have Penix Jr. playing.
True.
But
I guess you just want entertaining games.
Yeah, that's what you
matchups.
Want. But like Rick said, you want heads and beds, you want some ticket sales, and you want entertainment for TV purposes. Well, I think they're going to win big with that noontime game if they get Ole Miss. Yeah. Because, again, TV purposes, Ole Miss will be a great draw.
So, right now, I want you to play matchmaker for the Gator Bowl. Who would you bring here to town?
Oh, boy.
If you're going to put the hot – and then keep in mind –
Well, I'm taking Ole Miss, okay? I think I've been heavy on that. I mean, Ole Miss is a front runner to be here in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. And I think people are talking North Carolina, so that made a lot of sense.
But no, North Carolina beats Miami, so that's not looking good. So who would you put against Ole Miss then?
Didn't Rick just say Miami's in play here? I think he did.
Yeah.
Well, I would go with Miami then.
Miami. Okay.
I would go with Miami because I like I'm pretty sure he said Miami would be in play, even with 2 losses.
Okay.
Because they're going to get bumped from the Orange Bowl. So if he said that and that's accurate, I know if he said it, it's accurate. But if I heard him correctly, well, then I would go Miami. Not because of the draw, because I think it's entertaining. De'Aaron King, and Matt Corral, and you can have a shootout potentially. Although I think NC State is heavily in play here too, so you could get NC State. But I think the draw is Ole Miss. I really do. I think the draw from a watching, viewing standpoint, from TV on ESPN standpoint, is definitely Ole Miss and the flying clipboard.
The flying clipboard. I'm not mad at that. I think a dark horse that I would consider might be Virginia Tech, because it could be a clash.
Virginia Tech said not playing.
Oh,
they're one that opted out. They just opted out like yesterday or 2 days ago.
Scratch that then.
No, but
Never
that
mind.
that would have been okay.
Yeah.
But you're
Man,
right.
it's hard to keep. Okay, I got you. And then Boston College opted out as well, so they're out.
Pitt's opted out.
Yep.
So you're really, again, I mean,
it's slim pickings.
Yeah, and it was interesting to hear Rick say that, he's not a big believer in the teams that have opted out. Like, he doesn't like the fact that they're opting out.
Which is, I get it from his standpoint, because
of course,
it's a business,
because
but I can see the other side of it too.
So the Cheez-It Bowl right now has Miami versus Texas. That's an ACC Big 12 matchup.
Is that featuring Jason Fitz on commentary?
It should.
Yeah.
At least Mike Golick Jr. and Jason Fitz.
Maybe a little halftime performance.
Let me ask you real quick, and I'm not going to, again, I don't want to get into the weeds on this thing, but it's pretty fascinating, college football, this congressional proposal that has to do with name, image, likeness, revenue sharing, medical care for longer term, education, transfers.
I like that.
Can we get carried away with it? Is likeness and image is that good enough for now? Pay to play potentially? Is that good enough? Does that satisfy even as a whatever $1 million or $1 billion business?
Yeah.
Does that satisfy people enough, the likeness and image?
So right now it's progress. So that's a start. I think it would satisfy a lot of people. But in terms of like health insurance or recovery, like, listen, once you are done playing college football, that's it. You're under your own insurance, whatever you want to do. And let's be honest, it's a very strenuous sport. It's a very physical sport. And some of those college football experiences, those injuries, it lasts with you forever. So I wouldn't mind seeing extended health care, because now you're taking care of not only, the future guys, but also the past. And that's a nice bridge. So while I think the likeliness is a great start, I think to put it in the next step and the evolution, I think, the healthcare after you graduate could be an interesting thing.
It is interesting. You don't want Congress involved, but the NCAA hasn't been able to figure it out. College is kind of, everybody's all over the place. I mean, look at the COVID stuff alone. I mean, you can't figure it out. It's so messy. Who's running the show? Presidents, ADs, big-time coaches. I don't know if all Congress figured it out either. Doesn't seem to make
That's what it takes, Brent. That's what it takes.
I think this proposal had like $50 million over the first couple of years to start it. So it would actually come out of like taxpayer dollars. So maybe that is what they would sign off with initially.
Yeah.
But then who's footing the bill after and all that stuff. It's fascinating. But I do think what Rick said is right. I think the landscape of college sports is going to look different over the next handful of years, and it has looked for the previous however many years. When we come back, we'll give you an update on the state championships and a thought or two on that, plus a visit with the winning coach from last night. Brought home some hardware. It's on the way on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny but breezy and cool today. Highs in the upper 50s. Some inland frost tonight as temperatures drop into the 30s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Just in time for the holidays. Save up to 40% on everything store-wide at Beards Diamonds.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
The radio in your dash is more than radio. That SiriusXM button is instant access to a world of exclusive entertainment, including ad-free music channels for every genre and decade. You can also hear your favorite sports, comedy, talk, and news. Plus, you can stream with the SiriusXM app on your phone and connected home devices. And there's never been a better time to listen. Subscribe now and get your first 12 months for $5 a month with a new Select subscription. Fees and taxes apply. Go to SiriusXM.com to learn more.
Worthless warranties, slimy salespeople, shady subcontractors. It's no wonder people don't trust most roofing companies. At All Pro Roofing and Consulting LLC, we didn't trust them either. That's why we started our own roofing company. With more than 25 years of experience, we offer industry-leading warranties, simple, fair financing, and no subcontractors. Residential, commercial, even multifamily properties. At All Pro Roofing and Consulting, we've got you covered. Learn more at allproroofingllc.com.
Boss, have you heard the latest about the ding-dong doorbell cameras?
What, more employees spying on customers?
Nope.
Hackers again?
No, boss, this time they had to recall over 350,000 video doorbells.
Recall? What happened?
A bunch of them caught fire.
Whoa, unbelievable. It's one thing after another with them.
Yeah. Notice you never heard that with Safe Touch's video cameras?
Well, now you're just comparing a Bentley with a bumper car.
Exactly. I just don't understand why any homeowner wouldn't go with Safe Touch.
Yeah, their video monitoring's virtually hack-proof. Oh, and here's a bonus. Safe Touch cameras don't burst into flames.
No kidding.
It's just a good thing not everyone knows about Safe Touch, because we gotta stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah, don't gotta tell me twice.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
You bump the temperature down at night, don't you? And you probably keep your daytime temperature set below 74 degrees too. Or at least one of you does. While the other complains that
it's freezing in here.
You know what that means? It means your home is too darn humid. If your AC had proper humidity control, you'd both be comfortable at 74 degrees. So you'd never feel sticky at night or during winter or when it rains. Ever been in the mountains out to California in a low humidity environment? Then you know mid-70s can feel magnificent. But when your home's too humid, it turns everything to turd buckets. Because cold air plus humidity equals condensation, causing your ducts, windows, and hard surfaces to sweat. Enter mold and mildew. Not good. With a Florida-rated system, you'd get proper humidity control, so you'd both be comfortable, you'd both sleep better, and you'd both stop fighting over the thermostat. But only if you call
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day? That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. After the crash, call the police and document the scene by taking photos of all the vehicles involved. If you were injured, get medical attention as soon as possible. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At Lloyd's Construction and Consulting, we've been celebrating 10 years in business. Over the years, we've constructed thousands of projects in the Northeast Florida region. For commercial to residential, we handle each project with the respect and care it deserves. We look forward to speaking with you about your next construction project. Find out more at lloydsconstruction.net.
We want you to be part of the 690 Syndicate. We'd love to get all of you to help us this holiday season as we support the Ronald McDonald House in Jacksonville with their Deck the Doors campaign. You can help bring a smile to a family's face this holiday season. The 690 Syndicate has a donation page. Thank you for joining hands with the 690 Syndicate to make a difference here in Jacksonville.
Austin Lane.
I had braces. I still have my permanent retainer in. It's been knocked out twice.
Brent Martineau.
So it's not stuck in there.
No, it's not stuck in there.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Being able to go on the wall down as a great, a lot of people can't take this away from us. Knowing that we had a shaky first half, I threw a pick. I just give it all to my teammates. My teammates really believed in me. They told me halftime, we got this, but they behind my back. And that was all the encouragement I needed, and we came out second half and made plays. And really the switch was our team just never folded. They came together, we gelled, and we just came out and got the W.
That's Ja'Cory Jordan, but I'm stymied by the music here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like this is. I'm either getting a massage right now,
It's
or
some
this is
Blade
going to
Runner
be like.
stuff.
It's not Celine Dion, like the start of the like. Oh, now it's not.
Oh no, this is like Blade Runner or something. I like it.
We switched
Dude,
over
this is
quickly.
this is like did you ever play? Probably not, because you're too young. Double Dragon growing up.
No,
It's right up from that, or like that, or like Streets of Fury. Yeah, you're too young. Brent, you play Streets of Fury? You're too old. Man, I'm just right in that pocket, right in the honey hole.
You got me thinking about it, though. I was joking that everyone in Jags media is excited because Miles Jack was talking about how he wants Doug to come back, and I was just like, I'm just happy he plays Call of Duty on Sundays.
Oh, he plays Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's sweeping the nation. Who doesn't? He also, he's a beekeeper as well.
That's right.
So we're all big Miles Jack guys. I wish you'd hit me back, though. I wish you would talk to me about bees, but it is what it
called
is.
him that day.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Because I got
we
some.
We could have talked bees.
Because I know, man.
We're going to talk Iceman. We're going to talk bees if he had just called
I got
in.
some real nice custom bee boxes with your name on them, but.
Kuz, real quick. Kuz is on the phone. We're getting Verlin Dormany on. But we got to find out later on, did he open the Xbox?
Oh, yeah.
Not yet.
He's still pondering. What does your wife want you to do? Oh, I'm sorry, fiance. I feel like that decision is going to be either it's going to be an old fiance or a wife. I feel like that decision could put it over the top. I feel like, I feel like 5 months from now, when we're talking, still doing this show, succeeding, thriving, ratings off the table, I feel like when Kuz is in here and we're talking about a married man or a single man, it's going to come down to that one decision. How does she feel about it?
She doesn't necessarily care, but now that there's just a box sitting in the middle of the living room, she wants that to change.
In this pandemic right now, in these quarantine times, I promise you she cares. How many TVs you guys got?
We have well, she wants another one, but we have 2.
She cares.
Is Coach on?
Coach is on.
So Verlin Dormany's on right now. Coach, I know you just won a state championship, number 8. Congratulations. But first, can you coach up young man Justin Kuzard? He's our producer. And he got an Xbox. And, you pay like $500 for those things, Coach. So he's debating whether to turn around and sell it for like $1,000 or just open the darn thing up and use it. What would you advise him?
Take the money.
Take the money and run.
Take the money.
Hey, congrats. What a win, huh? I mean, golly, you were down 16-0 over Chaminade Madonna, perennial power. And you did it. You pulled it off. Ja'Cory Jordan and Marcus Burke, a couple touchdowns in the fourth quarter. You still on an emotional high from that one?
Unbelievable. Yeah, I went to bed at 3 o'clock this morning and, just trying to catch up, But the kids played a great game.
Verlin Dormany with us, Trinity Christian football coach here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, fresh off state championship number 8. And, I was watching that game, and Marcel was there, and I'm watching kind of the play-by-play of it over Twitter, and I see 4th down and 7, and I say, please throw it to Marcus Burke. Just please throw it. Don't you kind of have to. I don't know if you dialed it up for him. Like, what was the play on 4th and 7, your final gasp?
One, credit to Coach Ross. I mean, he really dialed it up. It was phenomenal. We knew we were getting double coverage on Burke, So we went 5 wide. So they had to slide the safety in to cover Caleb, where he'd put the 3 wide, 3 on one, 2 on the other side. And the 2 side, we had Caleb and Burke. Well, the safety had to slide back over the top to take care of Caleb. Caleb run the skinny post, we run Burke down the sideline. And as soon as Jacory threw it, Ross turned and looked at the stands, just held his hands up, touchdown. Like,
wow.
He knew it.
That feels good as a play caller, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. You get it close to Burke, he's going to catch it. And Jacory did a great job last night.
Coach, I know you haven't really had a chance to reflect on the year quite yet. I'm sure you're still, you're celebrating. You're still amped up, obviously. But as you go forward now and you reflect back on this team, and every single title means something different, what does this title mean to you, and what are your takeaways from the team that you had this year?
You know what? I think it's just a tribute to our kids because, we didn't play well last year, and we didn't play well as a team last year. So for us to regroup, come back after losing the first game of the season, we had to battle through injuries all year long. We never did play with all of our bullets on offense all season long. At some point, one of the top 3 offensive players was hurt. And but for these kids to get better each week, and win 12 in a row, I mean, you can't say enough about the defense. I mean, our guys did a great job coaching these kids up, and these kids played hard on defense. They ran to the football and they were really, really aggressive and violent and played the game like it's supposed to be played. And for that to happen and see them build on that each week and get better and better, and and then last night was it was just icing on the cake.
Trinity Christian head coach Verlin Dormady, fresh off a state championship last night in Tallahassee, Class 3A, be the only local state championship for the Jacksonville area. University Christian falls yesterday. Bulls just lost to Cardinal Gibbons 35-21. So comeback fashion, big time win in the final minute. I mean, that's kind of what you dream of, too, those state championships when you win. You like to win them as a coach, probably just going away. But for the players, they'll remember this. And I can't help but think of Marcus Burke. He signs with Florida yesterday morning, so like probably 7 a.m., and then later in that day catches 2 touchdowns, and he has missed some time with some injuries, I believe, over the course of the season. So I kind of think of it in that perspective, right? We love high school sports for that day. And it doesn't have to be a star player like Burke. Could probably be, you probably have 5, 6, 10, 12 different stories that these kids will be telling that at a local watering hole when they're 55. Whatever Marcus Burke does at Florida, whatever he does beyond that, this day is going to be special to him no matter what.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he's just the kind of kid that, he just goes about his business. He works hard, and when he gets the opportunity, he makes plays. And it's hard to it's hard. I don't know. You don't coach that because that's either in a kid or not. And I'm telling you something, Burke's got it.
Yeah, that it factor is big. I was going to ask you that because Shaun Wade, obviously, he could be a first-round pick. He's not playing his lights out as he had hoped so far this year, but I still think he's got the ability to be a first-round pick. When Shaun left, and Shaun was our Friday Night Blitz Player of the Year that year, so he was excellent in high school. And he's going to Ohio State. Did you think that you'd be like, hey, he could be a first-round pick? Like, he's going to play at that next level. And I guess I asked that in the context of, like, when you look at Marcus Burke, he's obviously going to a Florida team who's very good, a program that's very good. Do you see Marcus Burke, if he reaches his full potential, as playing on Sundays someday?
Absolutely. The kid's got a burst that you can't coach. He's extremely fast. He's got an incredible set of hands. I think the biggest thing they'll have to work on when he gets to the next level is just route running, understanding defenses, understanding, where to be based on coverages you're going to get. But, he's got all the upside there is. I mean, he's long. He's at least 6'3.5", 6'4". They'll put weight on him. But if he can't play in the NFL, then I haven't coached 30 years.
There you go. There you go. We'll wait and see what happens with all those guys. What a phenomenal team and a great – boy, there was a stretch in that season, Coach. I think you guys allowed like 10 points in 5 weeks. I mean, you talk about your defense playing well. And you didn't even go to Georgia this year, right?
No, and that's probably why we lost the first game.
Yeah.
We didn't go to Georgia. You know?
All right, hey, I gotta ask you this before we let you go. There's been rumblings around at times over the last year or two. You might be getting close to saying goodbye. Hang it up. Have you done enough? Is there any thought of that? Any thought of retirement now that you have done enough? 8 state championships. You just won another one. You still got a lot of energy and hunger for it, or are you thinking about it?
You don't know, Brad. I take it year by year. I tell you what I really enjoy. I enjoy coaching on Friday nights and seeing my grandson run up and down that field and having a great time. Running up the field last night and him, he knows every score of every game, what day we're playing, who we're playing. He calls me on game day, Coach, it's game day. We're getting, it's one of them fun. It's one of them fun things. So anyway, it's one of them nights. I'm sure it's right around the corner, but I'm gonna make a great middle school coach for Trinity one day when my grandson's playing middle school.
That's awesome. Hey, good stuff. Hey, happy holidays. Congrats on the win. Give our best to all the players and coaches too. Well-earned win there to get another state championship.
Hey, thanks, guys. Merry Christmas.
You too. That is Coach Verlin Dormady, Trinity Christian, and there's been some discussion about whether he'll retire soon, but I do see him with those grandkids, and that maybe does keep you around, hanging around in it.
Well, listen, all I'm going to say is, depending how old his grandkids are, if they're in the 5 to 6 range, I might have my son go to Trinity Christian then, and we can kind of get a little powerhouse team together right now at the age of 5 and 6.
Well, let me tell you this. You're not the only dad that has said that over the years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are many a dad that have found themselves and their kid to Trinity Christian for good reason.
Yeah.
Around a lot of talent.
Hopefully they have a great band program, because I know they have a good football program. So, no, hey, Trinity Christian, how's that band program? Hit me up, and I'll take a look-see.
They have set quite the standard. Once again, the high school football season over for our local teams as Trinity Christian wins the state championship in 3A. University Christian falls in 2A, and Bowles just lost this afternoon in Class 4A. We'll have a Blitz scoreboard show to sum up the year tomorrow night, 9 o'clock right here on ESPN 690. We'll also have the Blitzy's Award Show. We'll get Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Team of the Year, Game of the Year, other awards coming up 10:30 on Fox 30 on Saturday night. Hope you can join us for that. Hope you can stay with us right now. We'll talk more football right after this. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Doug Marrone's impact on this football team moving forward. What is it? What has it been? Talk a little Coach Marrone next.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
If you're a New York fan, if you're a Jet fan, you're also worried about maybe even if we do surround Sam Darnold with the right skill sets or the right players, maybe this is who Sam Darnold is. Maybe he never blossoms out of this. It takes a really strong personality to bear out of that and say, that's not who I am. Maybe this is who Sam Darnold is.
Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio, your smart speaker, or on ESPN News.
Worthless warranties, slimy salespeople, shady subcontractors. It's no wonder people don't trust most roofing companies. At All Pro Roofing and Consulting LLC, we didn't trust them either. That's why we started our own roofing company. With more than 25 years of experience, we offer industry-leading warranties, simple, fair financing, and no subcontractors. Residential, commercial, even multifamily properties. At All Pro Roofing and Consulting, we've got you covered. Learn more at allproroofingllc.com.
Bud Light and Michelob Ultra want to make sure you're ready to kick off this holiday season. Stock up on your Bud Light 12-pack 16-ounce or Michelob Ultra 18-pack 12-ounce for this holiday season with a $5 rebate. Grab your favorite at Racetrack, Brookview Food Store, or Blanding Grocery. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
This Christmas, what do you buy for the golfer in your life? Cheap rounds and lots of them. That's what you'll get with a Dream 18 golf card. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round, plus card fees. At great area golf courses like St. John's Golf and Country Club, Amelia River Golf Club, and Eagle Landing Golf Club. And this isn't just a golf card. You get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free dome hat, a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 card for just $95. It's the perfect gift just in time for the holidays. Once-in-a-lifetime holiday savings continue at Beard's Diamonds. Save now through Christmas up to 40% off.
Yes, 40% off.
All GIA certified loose diamonds, all designer settings, pendants, engagement rings, everything store-wide is on sale up to 40% off.
If you're popping the question soon, celebrating a big anniversary.
Make this a holiday she'll never forget. These never-before savings will end December 24th.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Suddenly, you're on the receiving end of someone else's negligence. What do? You call 1-800-ASK-GARY. They will help you find the legal and medical help you need to get the settlement you deserve. 1-800-ASK-GARY.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At Lloyd's Construction and Consulting, we've been celebrating 10 years in business. Over the years, we've constructed thousands of projects in the Northeast Florida region. From commercial to residential, we handle each project with the respect and care it deserves. We look forward to speaking with you about your next construction project. Find out more at lloydsconstruction.net.
Free shipping is great. Free shipping no minimum, that's that Walmart Plus magic for your holiday. Get all your last-minute shopping done with free next-day or 2-day shipping on a huge selection of eligible items from Walmart.com. With no order minimum, free shipping means the freedom to click that order button to your heart's content. Just another added benefit to your membership. Maybe that's why they call it Walmart Plus. Start your 15-day free trial today at walmart.com/plus. See membership details, restrictions apply.
The hardest part of any goal is oftentimes getting started. All month long, we're going to help you get started on the path for a happier you for free and without even leaving your home. If your business would like to get involved, visit GetStartedJax.com. That's GetStartedJax.com.
So typically, after the season, we'll kind of like high classified information, but typically we'll like meet with Shad, Mr. Khan, after the season, and sit down in his office and talk to him about certain things, and like he'll ask us what we do and don't like. And me personally, I just have a lot of love for Doug. I just feel like it's just been a rough year for him. The 2017 year when we were really good, I felt like he didn't get enough credit, and then the years when we were bad, he got, he kind of had to eat that. I'm always riding with Coach Marrone. We've had like a lot of personal like conversations and just like things that I've had to get over and deal with that he's always had my back with. And even when I've been wrong in certain situations, like he's always had my back.
That's Miles Jack. Listen, Doug Marrone along the way, I don't know if he was, I don't feel like he was always like this, and maybe this is just bad on me. Mm-hmm. But you got the sense in the past, if you talk to Buffalo folks, it was kind of 50-50 in the locker room. I mean, we're all in on Marrone or we're not on Marrone at all. That was kind of the tone out of Buffalo. Whether that's accurate or not, that was the tone when Doug got hired here. I remember reading all these articles and seeing stuff and doing some research on it. That was the tone. Then he comes in under Tom Coughlin, and you get these two guys that are, you kind of think they're hard asses, right? And they're going to play physical ball, and they're not going to take any crap from anybody, all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And it kind of is that way for a bit, but then you see this detachment from Marrone more to be a player's coach. Like,
like I'm not gonna. He would probably hate this because he doesn't want to be in this. He's different personality wise, but is Doug Marrone any different than Gus Bradley in terms of a player's coach? Again, I'm not talking style. I'm talking about you would label him like you would label Gus a player's coach.
Correct.
Should we label? Is it accurate to label Doug Marrone a player's coach?
I'm not going to do it just from what I've seen. Like, obviously, Myles Jack has his back, and I'm sure a lot of guys in the locker room have his back. So, like, if you have the respect of your players, well, you can be a player's coach, per se. But to me, a player's coach is more of a guy who, when there's two roads to go down when a football player messes up in training camp, do you chew that guy out in front of everybody, in front of the fans, in front of the media? Or do you go around it, you crack a joke, and kind of put your arm around him and say, come on, man, you have to be better than that? To me, that's a player's coach. Now, I've seen Doug Marrone in capacity in his coaching style at training camp, and he's not afraid to chew somebody out, right? No. Get after somebody. So I think he's done the rare job of becoming a player's coach with an old school mentality. Let's just say it like that.
I think he's adapted.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked the question. That's why it's hard to peg him.
Mm-hmm.
And so much so, like, we have a hard time. Listen, I think the criticism of Doug Marrone is what is his identity as a football coach. Mm-hmm. And I think in a strange way, I think his identity from a coach-player relationship has probably changed over the years. And maybe they all do. Mm-hmm. But this one has noticeably changed, or at least it feels that way. Doug might say, I haven't changed a bit. I don't know, though. It feels like he has, Hey, listen, Nick Saban, from the outside looking in, is as tough as nails as anybody. But she also, I think, when needed, supports the heck out of players. Probably puts his arm around players.
Unless your name is Ronnie Harrison.
But you just don't see it, I think. You just never see it. You never feel it.
Yeah.
But the players probably do.
Unless your name is Ronnie Harrison. Maybe, didn't they have a little spat?
They did a little spat after the kid. Yeah. And I'm sure there are plenty of those, too. Like, there's players... Sure. Everybody's got a doghouse, right?
No, for sure. Yeah, what you like?
I mean, I don't know. Is Doug Marrone put his arm around Gardner Minshew these days? I don't know.
That's a good call. I'm not sure. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, the guy who we see at practice who yells and swears, like, listen, 99% of any coach would do in football past the point of high school would do. Who you see on the field is probably the different guy who you see behind the scenes. And I think that's what Myles Jack was alluding to a little bit, where I'm sure they've had those in-depth conversations, because that, like, people got to remember, especially during training camp and during the season, like, you're seeing your teammates, your position coaches, the head coach, even more than you're seeing your family sometimes, right? So it becomes like a fraternity. It becomes a brother. It almost becomes a family where it's like, right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm stuck with you.
Yeah.
Right? So you try to make the best of the situation. So I think that's what Myles Jack's saying right here, where, hey, if Myles Jack's going through somebody, I mean, you might as well tell kind of the general, kind of the captain who's supposed to lead the ship, because guess what? You see that guy a lot more than you can see a girlfriend or a fiance or a wife or even your kid sometimes.
Give me an idea. How many times in your years, how many times did you talk? Did you have conversations with Jack Del Rio, with whether it was Andy Reid, whether it was, who was that, Schwartz at the time?
Jim Schwartz.
In Chicago, it would have been, what's his name?
Mark Trestman.
Yeah. How many times? Like, would it be less than 5? Would it be between 10 and 20?
In terms
Would it
of,
be over 25? Like, how many times did you have conversation? Because the reason I ask you this is I think Doug does a nice job of this. I think if you talk to players, a lot of people talk like Myles Jack. Yeah, I had conversations with.
Mm-hmm.
I have conversations with. Doug Marrone even says I have conversations with. There's a lot of conversations being had with players, not only in team meeting, but I think on an individual basis. I feel that. I don't know what the number is.
Yeah.
But I guess how would you characterize in your playing career how many times you would actually have, like, hey, how things going? What do you need? Anything I can help you with? All this kind of stuff. Whatever it might take place with the coach.
So with
the head coach.
Yeah. So with Coach Del Rio, 0 times. And that would have been for 2.5 years. Not because, like, listen, not because he did anything. It's because I was a rookie and I was a second-year guy. I was young. I was stupid. I didn't really need to talk to anybody. I thought that I had it all figured out.
It's just you didn't.
I know. I thought no, you're not lying there. Coach Mularkey, I never asked him for anything, but I found myself having conversations, not so much about, like, football per se, but just about everyday kind of life, because I felt like we were kind of cut from the same cloth, right? Like that was the year I had my Liz Frank injury. He was very aware of it. I think he appreciated that I didn't want to go on IR and I wanted to fight through it, which I did, and he let me do that. So like I think there was a mutual admiration there because he was a former player himself, and I think I don't think he ever had a Liz Frank injury, but I think he knew it was the kind of the pain that I was going through, and I was trying to, be there for my teammates and stuff like that. I mean, he made me a captain for the Thursday night football game, so I think we had a mutual respect and a mutual understanding, even though we're born in completely different decades, just what the game of football meant to us.
Interesting.
So there was that one. Jim Schwartz in Detroit, no. Andy Reid was more just joking.
Just kind of passing by.
But that's what makes him so great, because you could be in a stretch line doing something, and all of a sudden Andy Reid would come up to you, he's like, hey, so you been to Oklahoma Joe's barbecue yet? And I've been like, yeah, I was at the gas station one, right? He's like, yep, that's the one right there. Hey, it's like a 2-hour wait, right? But that brisket's worth it. I'm like, yeah, coach. And then he just walks away. Like, it's those kind of
casual, very
casual, but you appreciate it, man. It lightens everything up a little bit, especially in the dog days of summer. Mark Trestman, the only serious conversation I had with Mark Trestman was when I got cut. And we got on probably a 20-minute discussion about spirituality. We got on a bunch of stuff, serious stuff, because he said that he was always impressed with how I handled the situation. Keep in mind, coming from Chicago, where I got cut twice in one day, and then I go to his office because he didn't want me to leave the organization with bad vibes. Now, I was still upset and everything, but we actually had a man-to-man conversation about my life going forward, the attitude that I have, and my mentality. So that was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting. I feel like Marrone has a lot of those conversations, from players saying it, from him saying it, and maybe more than the usual coach, and maybe he's trying to figure out today's player and doing that, and he's made that shift. I never got to I want to ask you about him going to the state championship. Should he have gone today? Next on ESPN 690.
Hi, it's Phil with the Phil Aiken Home Team at Keller Williams. When it comes time to sell your home, put me and the Aiken Home Team to work for you. Here's why. Over the years, I've perfected the home selling system, putting the most money possible in your pocket. With my exclusive list of buyers in waiting, I may already have your buyer. And with thousands of buyers, I'm likely to create more demand and higher sales prices. I'll even guarantee to sell your home at a price agreeable to you, or I'll buy it myself. Don't just take it from me. Let me introduce actual clients, Lynn and Craig. Tell us about your home selling experience.
We were immediately at ease. We had a great deal of confidence that any questions we had or anything that we needed to learn about the process was going to be handled in an expert and professional way.
We sold our home in just 2 days for $3,500 more than list price. Anyone who wants to sell needs to call Phil Aiken Home Team.
Thanks for sharing. The number to call is 904-500-PHIL. That's 904-500-7445. Or visit philhasthebuyers.com.
After such an emotional year, she deserves a gift that brings out the best emotions possible. Happiness, joy, and love. At Diamonds Direct, we specialize in creating those memorable moments. And this year, we believe they're more important than ever. So, for the entire month of December, we're making it easy with 48 months zero-interest financing on everything. All rings, all earrings, all bracelets and pendants, all bands, and yes, all designer jewelry, including thousands of engagement rings with certified natural diamonds. With Diamonds Direct's expanded holiday selection, it's like shopping 50 jewelry stores at once. And rest assured, in our showrooms, we're going above and beyond when it comes to your safety. Plus, we're offering video chat, online shopping, and curbside pickup. However you connect with us, you'll get the best value, the highest quality, and the financing that makes everything affordable. 4 years, zero interest. After all you've been through this year, end it on a high note by celebrating your love with a gift that's romantic, timeless, and symbolic. From Diamonds Direct.
Off Town Center Parkway, just left of the Hyatt.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Taking on that next oil change yourself is a great idea. We can help you get started. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge full synthetic motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for just $31.99. You can even get it all fast your way with our next day delivery or free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
For more than 25 years, the potential for health improvement is seen with each patient that walks through our doors. Healthcare decisions don't have to be confusing. Make Island Doctors your medical practice.
My husband and I have been coming to Island Doctors for approximately 10 years, and we have been very happy with them, and we trust them.
Call us today and schedule a tour of one of our locations near you and take a look at our best wellness program. And welcome home.
Call 1-877-434-4676 or visit islanddoctors.com.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Just in time for the holidays, make sure to stock up on your favorite Bud Light Seltzer variety, classic and remix packs this season. Also, look out for the new Ultra Organic Seltzer coming in January. Grab all the refreshing low-calorie flavors at Racetrack, Brookview Food Store, or Blanding Grocery. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Men suffering from ED or PE? Has Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra let you down? Regardless of your age or past medical history, you'll see results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical, or you pay nothing, guaranteed. Call them at 904-206-8105.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. The Saints' decision on quarterback Drew Brees' status for Sunday against the Chiefs will come down to how he feels during practice this week, according to Coach Sean Payton. Brees out the last 4 games with 11 broken ribs and a punctured lung. Shouldn't play this week, and New Orleans should start Jameis Winston instead of Taysom Hill, believes ESPN's Damian Woody.
You got to score via the passing game, and there's no way you can game manage your way into beating the Kansas City Chiefs. I know he gives you, potential to throw pick sixes and all those type of things, but he's a much more accomplished passer than the other guy.
Damian Woody on the Max Kellerman Show. Saints currently the 2nd seed in the NFC. They still have a chance at that 1 seed. Florida's postponed its next 3 basketball games because of what the school called the emotional impact of star forward Keontae Johnson collapsing on the floor during a game last Saturday. Johnson does continue to show signs of progress as he undergoes further testing and evaluation. Oregon agreed to a new 6-year, $27 million contract with football coach Mario Cristobal, puts him among the top 25 nationally in coaching salary.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Listen, I'm focused on this one. I just told my son all the pressure's on you for this Christmas holiday and family holiday. I said, I can't, I'm not pulling it home this year. So it's all on you, whether we're going to be a happy family or a miserable family.
That is Doug Marrone yesterday prior to Bulls, and I guess everybody's going to be miserable because Bulls lost today, 35-21 in the state championship game.
Put that soundbite in the greatest hits, though, please. That's great. It's a great soundbite.
So I think Twitter lied to me yesterday.
Well, yeah.
I think they were trying to be politically correct.
I mean, hey, Exhibit A, don't put your faith in Twitter, but go on.
So here's what I did last night. I actually deleted this tweet a couple times.
Like you tweeted out and then you deleted it?
Well, no, I deleted, I started to do it, then I was but it kind of hit me. When I heard that soundbite yesterday evening, I was doing some stuff for TV, and we put it in TV, and I was thinking more about it. And I think Doug was able to get last year to the state championship game down in Daytona because it was on a Friday evening. So I think they hustled him down, he hustled down there. A Friday night's kind of a night that's a little low-key in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of the hay is in the barn, so to speak.
Correct. We call those Fast Fridays, Brent. You get in, get out. Fast Fridays.
I don't even think that was publicized, but I think he was there for at least some of it or got there for some of it. I'm pretty sure. Well, this year the game's in Tallahassee, and his son, Mac, is a good player. I've watched him for 3 years. He's a good player.
Mac Marrone, I like that.
Marrone, yeah. And he plays
Sounds
linebacker.
like a rapper, to tell you the truth.
he's all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good player.
Yeah.
And here's what, listen, we watch our kids play all the time now, softball, baseball. There's nothing more fun than watching the kids play ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's awesome. And don't have to be a great player or not, just fun watching the kids play ball. So I said, I think it sucks Marrone can't go watch, and I put can't in quotations, go watch his kid play in state title game tomorrow. It probably would be frowned upon to go, but even if they were 12-1, Marrone missing a practice to see his kid play wouldn't impact Sunday. Few things better than watching your kids play ball. Got a lot of reaction to it.
Sure.
And a lot of people said, yeah, man, he should go. I mean, come on. He's got to, well, some people kind of like, he's going to be fired in 3 weeks anyway, but like, he should go. He should go. You know, he definitely should go. But I don't think that's the way everybody would respond. Here's where you got to put this in context.
Well,
if you lose 44-10 on Sunday, you'd probably go back to it and be like, see? Look what happens when the coach goes away. Like, well, you know, that's the way the world reacts. And I'm going to add one more before I ask you this question. But you got to put it in a situation, not if they were 12-1, but what if they right now are what the Ravens are? They're 8-5.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be very hard for the head coach to be like, hey, I got to go check this out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But could you move the schedule around a little bit? Do you do a little extra more work on yourself on Wednesday? Do you trust your assistants? Does John Harbaugh, would he do that? I would say he wouldn't, but I would still be okay with it. Like, I think it's okay. I think you should go to something like that. You don't get that many opportunities. But I think it's a football mentality that doesn't allow you to go to those kind of things because it's just the way it's been done. Those old school football people will be like, what? You did what? You can't, no way, man. Like Doug even started that quote with all my attention's on this. Mm-hmm. See, because he didn't want to be like, I'm not even thinking about their game. I'm thinking about my, that's just the way they're built. It reminds me of like Puzzlesny. I remember I've shared this story before, but it has always stuck out to me about Puzzlesny. You know, man, he's just machine-like, right? And he's all in. And I think Mark Long was there. There were some others, about a few of them. And we kind of were joking with him on camera. And Puzzlesny said something like, stop it, or I'm not answering that question, or whatever it was that was a little bit goofy. Okay. Like, if my dad sees me laughing on camera, he will kill me or something that, right? Yeah. He just wasn't like, there's no goofing around, man. That's business. You take care of business. Mm-hmm. And it's all football, and it's all that job all the time. Doesn't matter. Like, we sleep in cots. You work at 18 hours a day. You know, there's just that old school thing. And I think that doesn't allow a guy, not just Doug, I think that doesn't allow a lot of people to be able to do those kind of things, even if, is it really a big deal if Doug Marrone had gone to the state championship game today for a few hours and let his assistants run practice?
It's not a big deal.
Now, you say it's not a big deal as a dad and as a radio guy now.
Yeah.
But would the locker room think it would be a big deal?
Okay. So first of all, you said a majority of your followers said that they would like Doug to go to the game.
Yeah.
Right? That's because all of your followers are old geriatrics who have grandkids. Okay? I was in the parking lot waiting for you guys for that fight. You guys never showed up. Well, what's up, man? We guys watching Murder, She Wrote or what?
Yeah, true.
Probably. Okay. There you go. So next thing. You know, the reason why, and I probably never will get into coaching in terms of football, is because I've seen too much. I've lived through too much, and I've seen too much. Whether it's the high school, the college, and especially the NFL level, I know the time, the dedication, the man hours it takes to even make it. And then on top of that, be successful. And I think I know what Doug Marrone knows, right, in terms of coaching, where it's such a cutthroat business. And it is about the wins or losses. Not to say Doug Marrone could leave practice that day, go watch his son, and everything would be okay, because it would. But his own psyche would revolt against him and say, that was an opportunity to get better, and you pass that up. That's how coaches think.
Yeah.
Coaches always try to grab every single opportunity, because we always, and it's the most cliche thing, it's a game of inches. Well, it's a game of inches on that football field, but it's also a game of inches in the preparation. And if he was to leave that practice to go watch his son, you lost an inch. And that would stay in his psyche. When he's in Baltimore coaching that team, that would stay. Like a little, somebody stalking in the corner, basically, that would stay in his psyche. So I get why he didn't do it. Now, how do I feel about it? I'm a father. And believe me when I say that having my, he's 5 years old now, but having my son was the best thing I ever accomplished. It was the best thing, with all due respect to football, all due respect to MMA, all due respect to graduating, all that stuff. It doesn't even come close to hanging out with your kid. I'm reminded my son got 100% on his spelling test last week, and he was so stressed out about it. We were practicing so hard, and my wife during the show sent me text messages, hey, Ronan got 100%, and the teacher even had some nice comments about it. That made me more happy than getting drafted. And I'll be honest, I was happy getting drafted, man, because it was a night of booze. It was a night of free kegs.
You didn't go to the 40 after that spelling test.
No, man, it was a night of free kegs at Silver Lake Lanes. What's up, Sherry Q Block? Hope you're doing well. It was a great time. But in that moment, man, when I saw you got 100%, I ran home, I gave him a hug, I was playing some music, we were dancing. That was one of the best experiences of my life. And guess what? I got so many more to look forward to, and I cannot wait for those experiences. That's a spelling test, man. Wait till he starts maybe acing a math test, because I could never do that. So maybe he would shock me and do that. But the point that I'm trying to make here is, listen, a lot of guys in that locker room, they don't have kids. And I remember when I was that age, when I was a rookie, and going through the whole process of playing in the NFL, I didn't get it. I didn't get why after a game when I'd go to the Jags beach bars, Aaron Cameron would go, man, sorry, I got to go home with the family. I didn't understand that. I'm like, dude, you play in the NFL. It's a stressful situation. We got Joe Cullen yelling at us nonstop. Why don't you come out for a drink with us, man? Unwind a little bit. Blow off some steam. He's like, no, I'd rather go to my family. And until I had my son, until I got married, I understood it. The family is the bar. Right? Where we try to find all these things to get away from the stress of an NFL season, the stress of winning 2 games. I didn't have the family at the time. I had the Jags beach bars. But when I have my family now, I'm like, you know what? That's a lot better way to go about things. So as I say that now, I get the fact that some players could have a problem with it. But if I'm a captain in that locker room, if I'm Miles Jack, give me some other captains real quick.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. But listen,
Minshew.
If I'm Josh Allen, if I'm Gardner Minshew,
Linder,
if I'm Miles Jack, if I'm Joe Schobert, I think he's got some respect in that locker room as well. I get the team together and I say, guys, this is a really important moment in our coach's life. And I think, Miles Jack said it himself, he respects Doug Marrone. And I would try everything in my power, whether you got to show up late to a practice or early to a practice, but I would try to revolve around Doug Marrone's schedule for one day. I think they have that in them. So whether you have a 6:30 in the morning practice, you can make that sacrifice, so be it. Whether you have to come back that night and practice after his son's game, I'm not sure what time the game was at, but whatever the case may be, I make sure as a leader in that locker room, especially a leader if you have kids, you understand it. I make sure Doug Marrone attends that game.
Yeah, and it's to be honest with you, man, let's just say they didn't even move anything around. I mean, does it make any difference at all if Doug Marrone's at this one practice or not?
No, it doesn't make a difference. But once again, we got to talk about optics because that's the world that we live in. And I would try everything in my power to make sure that he goes to the game, but we still get a practice in somehow that day.
Yeah, and listen, I understand it's part of it. I'm telling you, if I was the head coach of the football team, I'd have a hard time doing it too. I believe that. Heck, if there's something major going on, if there's some breaking news, let's just be honest with you. If my kid's playing the state championship and Doug Marrone gets fired, well, then I'm probably heading back to the studio to do live stuff. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Listen, if you miss a show because Ty's got a game or Kelly's got a game, dude, I want you to miss a show. No, I know disrespect to myself, but that's how I feel, and that's how I think anybody should be.
Yeah, but you only get so many games. Or two different things.
I hear you, man, but you only get so many games, right? You only get so many games to check out. You only get so many games to witness. So, yeah, that's just how I feel about it. And at the end of the day, I respect what Doug Marrone did because he's putting what he does first. I'm not going to say he's putting the team over the family because I think family comes first to him, right? But he also understands the fact that this is what he does, to whom much is given, much is tested. And that's what makes a great coach. And I know right now on paper, it doesn't look like he's doing a great job. But going forward, when you're going through job reviews, when you're going through maybe another a process of maybe getting a position coach job or a coordinator job, that'll probably come back. And it'll probably come back in his benefit.
Yeah, and by the way, he's doing it, in a year. It probably never crossed his mind, but in a year where in 3 more games, he probably knows he's not going to be here anyway. So, I mean, he could be like, yeah, whatever. How many people in their normal jobs would be like, yeah, whatever, I know I'm out at the end of the year?
Oh, you got to put in the parking lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way the rest of us are probably built.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's why not everybody can be an NFL coach.
Yeah, that's why it's totally different. So, what do you think? Do you think Gus Bradley, even though the record wasn't good, left that football team with something that they kind of took forward that enabled them at all to have some success after his departure? Was there an impact of the football team? The reason I ask that is Doug Marrone, we're going to sit here and we're going to ridicule him for the record, and he's most likely going to get fired. And so when I ask this question, it's like, what do you mean? What's he going to be remembered for? I'm not really saying what's his legacy, but I want to say what he's had to have some impact on that building and locker room and everything, because he's had his handprint all over it. And you don't just dismiss all that stuff, I would imagine, as a player. So going forward, did Gus leave those guys with something that may have helped them? Will Doug Marrone leave these guys potentially with something that advances their career and maybe even makes this organization successful after he goes?
So first of all, with Gus Bradley, and I only spent a short time with him, and we've been down this road where I shared the story for Sports Illustrated that I wrote when I got cut, right? And Gus Bradley, I basically told him, like, listen, man, the biggest thing that I'm feeling right now is I'm not going to be able to get coached by you because I love the energy that you bring. You make the game fun. And I was bummed that I was missing out on that moment. So to answer your question about Gus Bradley, did he leave anything behind? I think the attitude about how you go about your work. I think the energy that you have to have success. And I understand when Gus Bradley was the head coach here, they didn't have a lot of success. Right? But if you remember how that transpired when he left, a lot of players were sad to see him go. And I think the reason is because he liked to have so much fun. Like I think he made coming to work fun, right? Like sometimes even when you got 2-3 wins in a season, it's not fun to go to work. It's not fun to show up. But I think Gus Bradley was so genuine that, hey, listen, guys, regardless of the record, I'm still going to give you my all, and that reciprocates itself. So that's what Gus Bradley left behind. I think he left behind the energy, right? Because sometimes energy, it can seep in the walls, right? It can stay there, and it can manifest itself, if you will, getting pretty down the road right now. But it can manifest itself. I think Gus Bradley left the energy behind. What is Doug Marrone going to leave behind? That's a harder one because I go off Gus Bradley in the press conferences, right? Like the guy always had the right thing to say, right? And he was a people person. Doug Marrone, no offense to him, but it's a different style. It's I don't want to say it's a little more monotone, but like he doesn't give you much at a press conference. He doesn't really have those motivating speeches to us, the media. Now maybe to the players he does, but not to the media. I think in Doug Marrone's case, I think it's going to be the ability of 2 things, and they're 2 important things: perseverance and adaptation. Because when Tom Coughlin was here, we saw Doug Marrone, I think, be a coach, but he was a shell of the coach that he could be, right? Because he had to answer to Tom Coughlin. When Tom Coughlin left, I think Doug Marrone finally got the opportunity to show who he was. He adapted to the locker room, and you hear how the players feel about him. So I think adaptability and then obviously perseverance, because a lot of people were saying, hey, what is Doug Marrone doing back this year, right? And I think maybe we might have been those people as well. But at the end of the day, he somehow got it done. He's a survivor. He persevered, and I think that's going to translate to the players in that locker room as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Again, both young teams at that time. Gus when he left in 2016, and now this team is very young. So I'm sure there's some impact left for Doug Marrone if this is his last 3 games. All right, let's pivot. Jacksonville Icemen underway in the 2020-2021 season. And back at it this weekend as well. And a friend of the program, Wasey Rabbit, joins us right now on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hey, man, hope you're doing well. My goodness, you guys are playing hockey. Tell me for real now, did you think you'd be playing hockey in December of 2020 at some point this year?
Well, first off, I want to say thanks for having me, gentlemen. Hope you're well. And, I mean, we just live week by week, basically, up until about 3 weeks ago when they gave our league the green light that we were going to go, and then obviously we had meetings with the team and the ownership via Zoom because, I mean, everybody was elsewhere on Earth, or the only place we could really meet was on Zoom. So, but I mean, it's very fortunate that we get to play in our ownership and everyone in the league and with the PHBA and obviously coaching staff. They've done a great job preparing us, and so far it's gone well.
Yeah, what is it like? We hear, obviously, the NFL and other places are so highly profiled in terms of we know what's going on day to day, all the testing. What's it like at the ECHL level? What are you guys doing? Like, have you adapted quickly to whatever you are doing to meet protocols and adapt to the situation you're in?
Yeah, well, just before our camp started, like I'm coming from Canada, so the league and our individual teams had everybody take a COVID test, and we self-isolated prior to leaving and crossing the border. It's kind of tough with some guys driving. Like I drove from Calgary, and that's a 41-hour drive, and that's a 5 days going through about 12 states. So you're going to run into people, but you try to wear your mask and just kind of take that 6 feet. But once we got here, we took our COVID test. We went through physicals. We self-isolated before camp started to make sure everyone was good to go. And then we got the green light, and we test twice a week, usually after we usually have a day off on Sunday. So Monday we'll come in. Thursday before the weekend starts, like today we had our testing. And, I mean, so far, we've got the green light, and it's kind of just putting ownership on ourselves individually to make sure that, hey, we are doing this in a pandemic. There are a lot of eyes on us. It may not be the NFL or the MLB, but I know the NHL is watching us because they're trying to have a mid-January start. So I think we're kind of the guinea pigs for that. But, again, we're in a pandemic, and it's just a privilege to play hockey and to do what we're doing, because I know back home where I'm from, they're locked down completely, and different parts of the world aren't doing so well. So we're very fortunate, and our fans were awesome on Saturday. Obviously, everybody followed protocol, and hopefully it was a safe and fun environment for us. For them. And again, hopefully we put on a good show because we're really excited to get the game back going.
Talking to Wasey Rabbit of the Jacksonville Icemen. And Wasey, you said it, man, in terms of, the preparation for this season, obviously it's different. And I think back to the NBA, obviously NBA guys, they got it made. You can just find your local YMCA, go shoot some hoops in the basketball gym, and you're good to go. For you guys, though, I feel like it's different. You have to get that ice time, right? You have to get acclimated. I mean, coming from Canada where it feels like a lot of things are shut down right now, were you able to get a lot of ice time? Were your teammates able to get a lot of ice time? And in doing so, did you guys come in for the first game of the season, in shape, ready to roll?
Well, myself individually, I was fortunate enough that I run my hockey schools and my development in the summertime. So I did, where I was, the cases weren't too high, but I think probably a week before camp, they shut down everything. So, I mean, I was not on the ice for 2 weeks. And I know there's a couple guys like Chase Harrison, our defenseman, his area was locked down for about 3 months prior to camp. So if you go on my Twitter, I kind of just posted something. He's on a frozen creek underneath the bridge trying to get some reps in with his little brother. But that's just kind of how dedicated these guys are. You have to adapt and roll with the times, whether you're an athlete or scholastics or what your day-to-day job. I mean, you got to make the best of it, and just what's happening in the world, just you try to bring a positive attitude, and nothing's ideal. I mean, some teams got to skate a couple times before, but I mean, everyone's kind of starting on 1 foot, and now we're hopefully landing on 2 once we took that first jump and we got that first weekend over with. Now we got our feet underneath us.
Wasey Rabbit with us here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Icemen home tomorrow night. I think it's about 3,500 fans allowed in during the protocols and with COVID-19. So it's cool the fans were able to be out there. They were loud and proud last Saturday night. A couple of goals for Wasey Rabbit in that win. What do you know about the team? I mean, do you like what you have? You have enough coming back that you have a feel for them? I mean, hockey's interesting either way. In a normal year, it sometimes takes a couple of weeks probably to get settled into who you are as an identity. What do you know and what do you like about this edition of the Jacksonville Icemen?
Well, we had about 6 or 7 returning guys coming, so that's always nice, especially when you want to try to, like you said, you talk about identity to a team. And Smurfs teams from the beginning he started coaching, they're hardworking teams. We're hard to play against, and I think we brought in the right mixture. We got some guys that probably could be at the American Hockey League level if under normal circumstances they're playing at this level. So we're very fortunate to have these guys, and like I said, it's just a privilege to play hockey. So everybody that comes into the rink is very, very excited, and they're here to get better for the time that we're here. And I mean, who knows what's going to happen in a month or two? So we're just trying to make the most of it. But obviously, our first game in Florida didn't go well, and then the second game against Greenville, we started to get the wheels turning, and now against South Carolina, we'll have another great weekend and a good test. But I like our defense. I like our goaltending. Our forwards are fast. We're gritty. We're tenacious. I mean, that's all being said here now under 2 games, but we still have to go and prove that. But I'm really excited about this year, and especially with everything going on, I just want to make sure that our team is prepared and giving a good show to everyone here in Jacksonville.
Well, Wasey, speaking of a good show, man, I mean, you're off to a hot start already. You got 2 goals. You got 1 assist so far, I believe. That's 3 points. You know, is that traditionally how you start the season? You know, like, do you get off to fast starts? And I guess, like, with hockey, man, I grew up playing it, haven't played it for a long time, obviously. Is it kind of like baseball where if you're a batter, you kind of find your slump a little bit? Or is the whole name of the game to try to maintain and increase?
Well, for me, I'm a little bit older. This is probably the best summer I've had of training. I mean, it's 8 months off, 9 months off. If you have that much time off to recover, usually it's because you had an injury, right? So there was no excuses for myself, and I feel like I'm 24, and I had a good start. But I mean, I'm playing with, like I said, great players. So I'm only as good as my line mates, and I got some great line mates, and everybody's been kind of helping out that way. But as you prepare for hockey seasons, it's such a gritty game. I mean, you prepare the same way just so that you can make sure that you're around the net. And Smurf system, I've been here under him for 4 years, that if you follow how he plays, and obviously those second and third efforts you're going to have to put in to get to that net, if you follow that, you're going to have your opportunities. And it's just a matter of scoring. And I mean, I had the first one, I had a good shot. I just turned and shot it, and the second one was rebounds from on the power play from my two line mates grinding it out in front. I just kind of tapped it in. So it could have been any of us, and I was just lucky enough it was me. But again, I'm only as good as my teammates, and I'm excited to get going again this weekend.
All right, I'm going to leave you with this. What does it mean to be a captain of this team? Again, Jason Christie, and you've been around a bit. I mean, the fans are comfortable with you guys, know you guys, but obviously there's a role on this team, and especially this year. Does it mean a little something extra to wear the C?
Well, anytime you're looked upon as a leader, it's a huge honor. And for myself, I've always looked at myself as a leader. Any team I went, I'm not a big raw guy. If there's something to be said, I'll say it. But I let my play do the talking, and then especially in the community, we're citizens of Jacksonville now for the time that we're here. So we want to make sure that we're putting on we're under circumstances that we still want to be good citizens of Jacksonville. So I want to make sure that that's first and foremost. And the games, we're just trying to grow the game, right? In Florida, it's not a bit. I think football, baseball come a lot higher than hockey. So that's one of the things we're trying to do. And for the younger guys, I just want to make sure that I go out and work hard, and they just kind of follow suit. And it's just a ladder. You got to come out and play, and you got to be the same person. And at the end of the day, that's most important, is that I'm a good teammate, and guys, they feel comfortable if they have any issues. And obviously the on ice will take care of itself if you work hard.
Well, go score a couple more tomorrow night. Jacksonville home against South Carolina. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all that good stuff, and have a fantastic season. Hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen. Have a good, happy holidays.
You got it. That's Wasey Rabbit, Jacksonville Iceman, home tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. And then they go on the road a little bit, home again on Monday, December 28th.
Yeah.
Unusual, a little Monday game.
Yeah.
So make sure you check it out. They're home just 2 more times before the calendar flips to 2021. But obviously the season's just getting going. Yeah. And you just have to get your tickets because, this is an organization that's put 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 in for games. You're only going to allow about 3,500 at least for now at home games.
I have to get his active recovery program, because to ride 48 hours, whatever it was, in a car.
That's unbelievable.
And not have any back pain or whatever. Dude, 2 hours in a car, if I drive to Orlando, back pain. Instant back pain. So, man, that's a long haul.
We should just make the trip with them home and just do the show the whole time on the road.
I'm not going to be a pleasure to be here, though. I'm just telling you right now. I mean, unless we take your truck or something like that.
Maybe Jack's Boz will drive.
Now he's probably too busy with AW. Yeah. Hey, we aren't VIPs.
We're just peons.
Yeah, we're not VIPs for Boz, man. Yeah. He's going to put us in a Ford Focus and say, hey, have fun, drive it yourself.
Check out the Jacksonville Ice. By the way, I got a major cramp this morning. He said he felt 24. I felt like I was 85. I'm still feeling the cramp.
You're not drinking enough water.
In my calf.
Yeah, drink some water.
Not too much coffee. I thought about
drink
it.
some more. Counterbalance it with water.
I know. I've been drinking a decent amount, but it wasn't enough.
It's not enough,
Needed some
man.
Pedialyte.
You need some IVs.
I needed bananas.
You need IV.
Needed potassium.
Potassium.
It was awful.
You gotta stop cramping, man. I'm telling you.
My gosh.
I'm telling you. That's
So
your
bad.
body saying, help me. Were you in tears?
Close.
I mean,
Close.
especially the calf, too. The calf's what was worse, calf or hamstring? Star 690. What's worse, calf or hamstring cramps?
I think it's the calf, but I usually get them in my hamstring.
I disagree. I think hamstrings are
I get
a lot
more
worse.
of them in my hamstring.
Dude, hamstrings shut you down. They
This one shut me down. I was all over the place. All right, we'll be back on
Cramp
ESPN
talk.
690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Clearing and cold tonight with an inland frost and freeze where temperatures drop into the lower 30s, mid to upper 30s closer to the beaches, and sunny and cool but nice Friday, highs in the mid to upper 50s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Just in time for the holidays, save up to 40% on everything store-wide at Beard's Diamonds.
Hi, it's Brian Kilmeade for Phil Aiken Home Team Keller Williams Realty. I'm talking with Greg and Gary about their recent home sale. Why did you call Phil Aiken?
We called Phil Aiken because we had heard that his team will sell your house quickly and for more money than any of the other realtors in town.
Tell us what happened.
Phil Aiken and his A-team, they will make the process very easy. Sold in 4 days and got over asking price.
Well, that's great. So how did you think they were able to sell it so fast?
Because Phil has the buyers and they have the team that can get the job done quickly and stress-free.
What would you tell a friend who is looking for a real estate agent to sell their home?
Would I recommend Phil Aiken and the A-team? Absolutely.
Well, the results speak for themselves, right? Phil Aiken and his team have the systems and will even guarantee to sell your home in writing or buy it himself.
Yes, we got better results than we expected.
Thanks, Gary. Friends, hire the agent with the buyers looking to buy a home right now. Call Phil Aiken. Call 500-PHIL. That's 500-PHIL or visit philhasthebuyers.com.
After a year like no other, she deserves something truly special. And Diamonds Direct is here to help with our best holiday offer ever. 48 months, 0 interest financing on any purchase. So you can get her that diamond ring, pair of diamond earrings, or diamond eternity band and spread your payments over 4 years without paying a dime in interest. In fact, everything's included. All bracelets, all pendants, all new designer jewelry, all colored gemstone jewelry, even our designer engagement rings. Diamonds Direct makes it easy to splurge with this first-time ever holiday offer. And as always, your safety and your convenience are top priorities. You can shop in our showroom with confidence or video chat with us online at diamondsdirect.com and even arrange for curbside pickup. If we've learned anything this year, it's that our loved ones and our relationships are what matter most. So make her holiday the best ever with a gift that's romantic, timeless, and sentimental. And remember, with any purchase, you can take advantage of 4 years, 0 interest financing. Diamonds Direct.
Off Town Center Parkway, just left of the Hyatt.
Happy holidays from the team at CGC Water. This holiday season, our gift to you is clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener like the one we have at our home. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember now, this is a limited time offer. A free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. Special holiday financing available for a limited time with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer. Have a happy and safe holiday season. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000. 515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Appliances may work on your schedule, but they quit on theirs. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we'll get your appliances back up and running in no time at all. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have repaired more than 100,000 appliances over the past 35 years, servicing Jacksonville to St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor, plus a 100% satisfaction guarantee. When your appliances quit, we're ready to get started. For quality repair at a price that's fair, visit AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Brent Martineau.
They probably already have one. Cornholing.
Austin Lane.
You're going to have a call from PR in a little bit here.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
He's very similar to Baker as far as the movement in the pocket. So we just got to make sure we have disciplined rush lanes and get to the quarterback. I'm just treating it as another game, you know what I mean? We need the rest of these wins to get to where we're trying to get to. At the end of the day, you know, I had my time with Jacksonville. That's not a secret. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to treat it like another game, another Sunday. The fact that I've been playing with Khalid since I've been traded here has what's been special to me. Being able to rush with a guy that knows how I rush and things like that.
Lies. 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 Lies.
Just another game.
This guy's getting like 9 hours of sleep right now per night, just preparing for this game. Get an extra hour of sleep now. Just wait, man. Who do you think has a bigger game, Calais or Yannick Ngakoue?
Great call.
Those are the only kind of calls I make, Brent.
Yeah, okay.
Ouch.
I guess.
Oh, that's good, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I asked it. Yeah, I know. I know it's good. What do you got for us?
Ooh. I tell you what, I saw Jan play on Monday night, and he was close. Like, I don't know if he ever even got anything statistically, but he was close. Yep. Like, he was impacting. Yep. He was moving, who they play? Baker Mayfield off their spot, as they like to say. I'm going to go with Jan.
I'm going to go with Jan, too. Yep.
It's like sacrilegious. I just said that.
Yeah, but
I mean, I like you, Jan, but I mean, I love you, Calais.
But like, if you think the Jaguars are going to run the ball, though, well, that's Calais Campbell territory up the middle, you know? But I still feel like Jan's going to have a couple strip sacks or something like that. So I'm going Yannick.
A couple?
A couple.
A couple?
Probably a baker's dozen. Yeah. I think it's going to be one of those games.
I think we're giving these guys too much credit. We're giving them too much credit.
Don't underestimate the fuel, man. All right, this is the highest, most combustible of fuel that you can put in your tank right now. If you're a football player, you're playing the team that let you go. Okay, you're playing the team that did you wrong. That's petroleum, man. That's like, what's like the Wawa? We get like the 93 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like the 93 ethanol. Yeah. This is 99. This could be 120.
It's like you're driving
ethanol.
An Escalade.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, only the most premiums for the Escalade. Exactly.
Got Fields Cadillac Escalades in my mind.
Now we're talking.
I think they're going to do okay. I think they'll impact. The problem is they're not going to need to impact the game either. It's like, I'm just trying to think of, is there that moment? Do they get a... Okay, how about this? Let's go yes or no game. Does one of them get a sack?
Yes.
Does one of them get a forced fumble?
Strip sack.
So strip sack.
Yes. Because the only thing I'm picturing, I'm seeing Gardner Minshew trying to extend a play.
I know. He can fumble.
To the backside.
He does fumble a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Does...
Are you going to play along here too, by the way?
One of them get multiple. I'm going to put the over-under at 2.5 sacks combined.
Oof, no, that's too much. Too much. No. You going to play along, though, or just hold me responsible for all these answers? Yeah, this is what you do, and that's fine. I'm on the fence. It's cool.
You know, the Jags haven't given up a ton of sacks this year, really.
Mm-hmm.
They gave up like 32, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Again, their offensive line's played. I gave you that stat. It was an alarming stat the other day. It was like 7 games, Minshew had 23 sacks.
Yeah.
Luton and Glennon had 9 through 6 games.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You think it is a little interesting? I mean, that goes to show you that when you're scrambling ability, sometimes
that's why
yeah.
offensive linemen say they want to know where the guy is. They don't like that. The out of the pocket stuff, they don't like that.
Let me ask you this question. This is more related to Jan than it is Calais Campbell. Will there be extracurricular activities after a play?
Oh, that's a good one. Will there
Those
be?
Those are the only kind I bring to the table once again.
Will there be a?
I'm on a roll.
How about a flag?
A flag? Okay. Yeah, we can say a flag. Or okay, yeah, let's say a flag. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. So will there be like a personal foul with Yannick Ngakoue?
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, I'm asking you now. All eyes on you, Brent Martineau.
I'm going to say no.
You know what? We should actually write these down and have a little game here.
It's being recorded.
Okay.
Much like my Greg Hardy comment yesterday.
Yeah, that's good.
But what are the chances on Monday when you asked me to grab this audio that I have it?
Yeah, no, it depends how well I do.
As always. So you think there's going to be a flag?
No, I don't.
No flag. Okay.
Because I think Jan knows this is a big. He's gonna buy into the team concept of Baltimore and be like, hey, this is about. We need to get a win. This is about us. It's not about me.
When you're up by a lot of points, though, a little extra push.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Would be how about a stunner? Like you guys like to play those like parlays, right?
Yeah. Oh,
where it's like $5 and win like 500 because it's impossible.
Well, if it cruises a little more.
Here's like what would the odds be on Calais getting a penalty?
Oh, man.
Imagine if that happened.
I mean, not even on the board, I feel like you can't even fathom that. At least plus 5,000. All right. So let's I mean, listen, because to all you sick pups out there, I love gambling your money away. All right. So if you're wondering, will Yannick Ngakoue get a flag? We got to remember this. Who's he going against, Brent? Who are the linemen? We got Cam Robinson and Juwan Taylor.
Yep.
He was here with Juwan Taylor? Yes.
Yeah.
And he was here with Cam Robinson. Were they homies when they were? Do you know any kind of inside information?
I talked to Cam Robinson and Juwan Taylor today. Doing a story with them for the SEC Championship show we're doing tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on CBS 47.
Flex away.
And so I actually I was asking him about it. I was like, hey, Jan's going to be fired up. And, we're just joking. He's like, oh, yeah, he is. But he's like, I can't wait. I'm fired up. Like, Cam was fired up. But he didn't. I think there's no, like, bad blood.
No bad blood. Okay.
No.
Okay.
But you got to remember, they went against each other in practice.
True.
So you got, at those positions, you've been there.
Yes.
How many times in practice did one of them snap?
Well, I mean, listen, don't ask me that question because you know how I'm going to answer that all the time fighting. So, yeah, I think I'm going with the flag, Brent. I'm going with a personal foul, 15 yards, not going to matter, but I'm going with Yannick Ngakoue getting a personal foul.
Yeah, because
Put it on the books.
Listen, because he wants the sack so bad, he could, hit Minshew in the head.
Yeah.
So it could be a roughing the pass. I mean, roughing the passer versus I was thinking kind of excessive celebration, but roughing the passer, certainly, that might happen with Jan. I'm saying no, but I think that's a good over.
Yeah.
Or a good yes bet.
Yeah.
That is a good yes bet.
And he's probably going to do the whole gritty dance because everyone's doing that.
Here's some food for thought. Next year, the Jaguars play the Rams.
Whew. See that sigh I just said? Okay.
So
question?
Jalen Ramsey?
You're just telling me. Yeah.
This conversation tenfold. Fortunately, the Jags should be better. Why? Because they can't be worse.
That's wood being knocked on, everybody. So much wood being knocked on right now. One thing, though. Oh, man, because we don't obviously know when they're going to play the Rams yet. I hope it's towards the late end of the season. Because could you picture, is it going to be, do we know it's going to be L.A. or
It's in L.A. Unfortunately, it's in L.A.
So,
which means Jalen, if he stays in L.A., won't come back to Jacksonville for a really long time.
Sure. But nevertheless, the worst thing I can see happening is let's say they get Fields, okay? And let's say Fields goes out there and maybe they play him early. So let's say it's a week 2, week 3, week 4 kind of game. He goes out there and Jalen Ramsey picks him off twice. And now all of a sudden you have Jalen Ramsey directly affect your team because now the quarterback's confidence could be a little shaken. You want to talk about nightmare fuel? There it is. Hey.
Yeah, I don't want to see the Rams early in the season. I don't even want to deal with that. I want to get comfortable. I want to like the Jags again. Mm-hmm. I want to have some good thoughts about Justin Fields. I want a win or two. Yeah. I need the Rams in the back half of the year before I get into that Jalen Ramsey stuff, just from an emotional standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please, schedule makers.
I hear you. I hear you, man. If we see the Rams like week 2, week 3, I'm going to cry.
Should some of the teams that have star veteran quarterbacks unload them? About Detroit. Somebody suggested, I forget who it was, that Pittsburgh say, hey, if you want to move forward, it's time to move on. Are they right?
What about Atlanta?
Atlanta's another one.
Let's go over the list a little bit. I like this.
And if that's the case, would a team like Jacksonville with all this kind of money be interested in more of a veteran guy than a young guy?
Are you off the Justin Fields wagon now?
No. I'm just asking.
Okay.
It's talk radio, man.
Okay, I got you.
I'm all in.
I just got to see where you stand. Okay.
I've already got my number 1 jersey. Half red Ohio State, half Jags teal. It's right next to my James Robinson jersey.
Is it next to your Kyler Murray shirt?
It's also next to the Gardner Minshew and Blake Bortles jersey.
Yeah, you saw that Kyler Murray shirt as well?
No, I put that in the fireplace.
Unbelievable.
Kyler Murray coming to Jacksonville next year on the schedule.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not going to matter. I'm not going to pick on fantasy that year.
We don't do QB report card year 3.
No, and plus I don't pick the same quarterback 2 years in a row in my fantasy. So Kyler, maybe I'll see you around, maybe not. Whatever, dude.
We'll be back on ESPN 690. Everybody, this is Brent Marrone from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
You know that saying, good things come to those who wait? Well, there's another saying. You snooze, you lose. Because it's the final days of Toyotathon going on now. And that means you've got to go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota today and get your Toyotathon savings while you still can. How big are the Toyotathon savings at Arlington? Well, I'm talking lease offers that'll have you saying, oh, wow, I could definitely do that. I mean, you could be in a new Toyota today, but you got to hurry. During the final days of Toyotathon at Arlington, you can lease a new 2021 Tacoma SR5 double cab V6 for just $249 a month. Or get behind the wheel of a new 2021 4Runner SR5 and lease it for a low $369 a month. And with every new vehicle purchase from Arlington, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Don't wait. It's the final days of Toyotathon at Arlington Toyota. Shop safely in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full details.
Why call a professional if you're only going to get a half solution? That's my philosophy. You called me to truly fix your problems like, boom, fixed and fixed right. So when Griffin Service offered full service drain clearing, I insisted we take that approach. And for drains, it's not really about busting the clog. Sure, we'll do that better than anyone. But honestly, most Jake with a snake chuck in a truck plumbers can bust a clog. Professional quality drain clearing is really about taking an out-of-control situation and putting you, the client, back in control. I'm talking about transparency, with upfront pricing and camera work included in the price, so you know that the problem was fixed and fixed right. Because on the off chance you've got a bigger problem than clog busting can solve, you'll want to know you're dealing with a plumber you can trust, who has all the equipment to fix problems properly and guarantee the work. So call the plumbers to do it right at
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
In these unprecedented times, nurses on the front lines continue to deliver treatment and care under some extreme medical and environmental conditions. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. If you are a nurse or other licensed healthcare professional and currently face an investigation or complaint that threatens your professional license, let us help you protect your rights. Call us at 904-600-4000 for a consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Do you know that there are 7 steps that can help to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild, even though they may have trouble controlling their anger or lack of focus or respect for others? Karate America takes pride in the tens of thousands of children they've impacted. Imagine your child or grandchild showing and earning respect, setting and achieving goals, and making good grades. Visit karateamerica.info to see if Karate America's leadership program is a good fit for your child.
For more than 25 years, the potential for health improvement is seen with each patient that walks through our doors. Healthcare decisions don't have to be confusing. Make Island Doctors your medical practice.
My husband and I have been coming to Island Doctors for approximately 10 years, and we have been very happy with them, and we trust them.
Call us today and schedule a tour of one of our locations near you and take a look at our Best Wellness program. And welcome home.
Call 1-877-434-4676 or visit islanddoctors.com.
The First Coast is booming. With interest rates at historic lows, there has never been a better time to call Brandon Ponsel and his network of local experts at Jags Coastal Homes. You can visit them at jagscoastalhomes.com or call them today at 904-206-9480 and mention ESPN 690 to receive up to $2,500 towards your closing cost. Need to sell? Powered by the unparalleled technology of EXP, Brandon will guarantee the sale of your home in under 60 days, or he'll sell it for free. The First Coast market is on the move. Are you?
Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 10 different platforms. But if you missed the show, you missed this.
The Jags have 2 opt-outs. How big are these losses in your opinion?
Lorente McCray is different to me. This is a guy who's going on his 7th season here in the NFL. If you have the honor to wear the C in that locker room, it means that you're a leader. You have some sort of influence on that team.
Subscribe to the podcast and check the show out on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Get the podcast daily. All you have to do is search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Calais, that guy, he was the mayor of Jacksonville. I can't imagine him talking crazy, but no, I'm just playing. But yeah, Calais might say something here or there. You know what I mean? I know he really wanted to be here. I know that much. Like, I know he wanted to finish his career in Jacksonville, and he definitely wanted to be in Jacksonville. So if he does talk some trash, he might just say, I wanted to be here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it'll be anything vulgar. I think it'll just kind of be, I wish I was with you guys right now. That kind of trash talk. I think Jan is going to play extremely hard today.
Oh, man.
You guys didn't want me anymore.
The mayor of Saxonville. Do you know how bummed I am? Because I had new Sac City merchandise just ready to print up. I'm lying. I didn't.
We still can do it.
Well, not this year, Brent.
Not this year.
Doesn't really feel like a new Sac City
so
this year,
we had to get our ducks in a row.
Okay. But I'm just saying from a perspective, it does not feel like a new Sac City right now, does it?
Can that be on the back of it? New Sac City. We had to get our ducks in a row.
We had to get the ducks in the row.
Probably, quite frankly. Could probably put ESPN 690 on the front of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was really excited about that and everything. I was excited about the Visca touchdown celebration. Remember that? The Terminator thing?
Have you ever heard of someone breaking their throat?
Yeah, is that real?
Is reported.
Yeah. That's all I got to say to him about that. Ugh.
Who is it? I forget even who it is.
Center for the Lions, obviously.
For the Lions.
Yeah. I don't know his name.
Yeah, seriously, you have a bunch of injuries.
Yeah, man. Just getting over another one, I feel like. Don't need to disclose that, though.
Well, I mean, over time. And you've seen a lot of injuries in a locker room.
Oh, yeah.
Never heard of it. Like, I really have never heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can go on WebMD right now. Can you break your throat? I'm not sure what's going to pop up.
This brings new light to go for the throat.
Listen, I mean, I guess you can do it, okay? So it's official. Fantastic. I can't imagine breathing. Even when, so for instance, Drew Brees broke 11 ribs it was. Broke a lot of ribs. Okay. He still played after that a little bit. And he had a punctured lung. Like, you hear that, and it's like, excuse me?
I know it.
Come again? What?
Like, are they really that? Like, I say, listen, football players are really tough, but is Drew Brees really that tough? I mean, come on, he's 40 years old. I mean,
I know.
It must not have hurt that much. Like, it hurt a little bit, but
Brent,
is he that tough?
I think you don't think broken ribs and a punctured lung hurt?
I don't want a punctured lung or broken ribs, but now I want to do a show through it just so I can say, see, I battled through it.
I mean, it can be arranged.
I know it can.
Yeah, strike 3 coming up. You just tell me when.
Well, I'm going to see the Chargers doctor soon.
Okay.
I was about to say, go get the Chargers doctor.
You got an appointment?
Yeah.
All set up?
After he's done with Thursday Night Football.
Figure out oh, man, yeah, that's a good point. Listen, a broken throat, man. I don't want to know what that feels like. I can't imagine. Maybe it's not that bad, but it sounds horrible. Like, for instance, remember when you were a kid and you used the phrase crack your head open? Like, if someone cracks their head open, that sounds horrible.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, true.
Like, but I have a little, contusion on my forehead. What does that sound like? Nothing.
Like a knee contusion?
Yeah,
What's a knee contusion?
Yeah, contusion in your forehead.
You
get a little laceration on your forehead.
No, man, I cut my
I cut my head open. Okay, that sounds bad.
We're already done?
What sounds worse? A broken eye socket or a fractured orbital? Broken eye socket.
Yeah, it kind of does. Well, fractured orbital doesn't sound good either.
Yeah, but broken eye socket's way
true.
worse. Okay, so what sounds worse? A broken throat or whatever the technical term is, which a fractured larynx. Don't know what a larynx even is. So
yeah,
it sounds. So maybe it's one of those.
Yeah.
Maybe it's worse than it sounds.
How do you say the other part of it? The laryngeal trauma? How do you say that?
I think you just did, and congratulations. Jags All Access coming up tonight. Jaguars All Access coming up tonight on Fox 30 at 7 o'clock. What did I call it? What did I just call it?
No, you're good. Nothing, man.
Did I say Greg Hardy or Kevin Hardy?
Yeah. I don't know, man. You have one of those weeks.
Would you? Is it time to move on for Ben Roethlisberger?
No, I'm staying with him.
How about Matthew Stafford?
I think I could move on from him.
How about Matt Ryan?
That offense is still good, though.
All right.
But I'm probably moving on. I mean, listen, you're a statue back there. You're just one hit away from getting, out for the season. So I'm probably replacing him eventually.
All right. Live, local, loud coming up next. Hey, make sure you go to ESPN690.com for our Dream 18 card, holiday stocking stuffer, Athlete of the Week vote, and our Deck the Doors campaign. ESPN690.com. I'll see you on TV tonight. CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 43rd annual holiday sale now with 30% off on GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands, Monahan